Sorry, I was actually on the phone with my mom. For the first time, no technical difficulties. Wow, this feels so weird. I've never used the live stream function on YouTube before. But I actually might have plans for tonight, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be like between my phone and here. So, yeah. What is everybody doing? No questions? I actually have a couple in my DM, but I kind of want to talk about some things myself, like some things that I wanted to have a separate video for. But I'm like, I'd rather kind of talk about it now here. Thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes. This is so much. I wish I had done this like last year or the year before. This is so much different for me than normal birthdays here. Thank you. I'm normally just like by myself at home because conveniently, like every time my birthdays come around here in Japan, either like I'm in the middle of a break from my relationship, I'm legitimately single, or like, oh, sorry. Yeah. Or like, I don't know, got into a fight or something like that where it's just like awkward and yeah, then have to wait for the next year. And then I plan out in my mind, like, okay, so when my next birthday comes around, I'm gonna have a boyfriend, we're gonna do this, that, and the other. And yeah, like just absolutely, how can I say, nothing ends up happening. So yeah, I'll probably start doing this from now on my birthday. So give me something to actually look forward to. I want to see if I can expand my screen. I feel so nervous. I don't like public speaking, contrary to what it seems like in my videos because I talk so much. But and the fact that I'm a teacher, but I actually feel super super nervous talking to you guys. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, for everyone wondering what happened, I was on the phone with my mom and I honestly took way too long to get ready. If you saw my picture on Instagram, I had curly hair up until this morning. And then I suddenly decided, do you want to have natural hair or do you want to straighten your hair? So I was like, I'll straighten my hair. But obviously, I needed to wash my hair and my extensions and everything. And yeah, all of that stuff took a really long time to do. So, gotta look good on camera. So yeah, um, it feels so weird because like in my mind, I feel like I'm a lot of you guys' age. Like I feel like I'm a kid. Like I feel like how I did when I first came to Japan, and it's so weird and interesting, so to speak, because I get messages from people all the time that are like between the ages of 20 to like 23. And when I read the stuff from you guys, I literally have to just like think to myself, like, be sensitive. They think they're an adult, they think they know what they're doing. And like, you literally sound like what I sound like to people that are in their 30s and 40s. Like, when they hear what I'm doing or what I'm planning to do, it just sounds crazy. So yeah, I definitely want to make like more content in the future, like catered towards that. I understand that a lot of people that are interested in Japan, like it feels like people like do like one extreme or the other. Either they try to over plan their future or they kind of are just like so focused on what's going on right now that they have like no room for things eventually, I don't know, changing in the future. So like for example, I can't really explain it. Like people have inside their mind, I want to do this job or I'm going to marry this person. And I don't want to put anybody on blast. But I can like think of some of my friends here, for example, that have gone back because things didn't work out for them. So yeah, it's kind of a sensitive topic to talk about. But yeah, I definitely I want to change the content that I'm doing here. Like, I want it to be balanced, but I want it to be things that I personally would have found more helpful for myself when I was, I guess, first coming to Japan, like things that nobody really spoke about. Like, it's a lot of things that I don't think much about until I'm on the phone with like my mom or one of my friends in the US. And I'm like, I never thought about that. Like, nobody talks about this or even somebody else's experience, but then of course have to be careful with talking about other people's business. So yeah, it's all another story. So you're my friend. You know what I'm talking about. People are still messaging me asking what happened to the live stream. Delon, I just read your message. Thank you. But Yeah. Anyway, just to let you guys know, I kind of cheated, asked for a couple of my friends to join me because I was nervous talking to you guys. But yeah, I feel so old. Like I feel old and young at the same time. Like in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, I'm 26 years old. And then I know like people in their 30s are like, girl, like shut up. But for me, it's like, wow, I'm almost 30 years old. Like I can't believe it. It's just so crazy to me. I don't even know, like, I don't have any plans for next year. And I honestly don't even know what I want to do for today or anything else, speaking of planning futures. But yeah, like I'm glad I have a YouTube channel. Like this feels fun to do. But I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to talk to you guys about. I'm just glad to not, I guess, kind of. I actually have a date for tonight, but here's the catch. Here's the catch. Because yeah, I'm not trying to be a gold digger. Didn't tell him it was my birthday, so got to keep that part a secret. I know I probably should say something about it, but it's like, nah, I don't want. I feel like that does one of two things. Like it can scare the person away, like you trying to use me for a free meal, because I am. But at the same time, at the same time, I don't know, like it's almost like telling somebody that you have kids on a first date. But maybe you should say that. But see, that's why I don't have kids. So that's not my problem to worry about. I'm not good at explaining things in lifetime. But you know what I mean? Like I don't want to tell them it's my birthday. So yeah, I might actually go to Panda Express today if they're even open. I've never been inside, but one of the things that made me really happy when I like found out I was going to be living here in Tokyo, I was like, "Oh my God," like, they have not one, but they have several Panda Expresses, and there's one in Shibuya, but it's not near me, it's a little bit of ways, and they don't offer, delivery here, so I have to physically go to the store, but I was like, I don't wanna go to Panda Express by myself." So, yeah, perfect excuse, and it was perfect because, like, the guy that, like, asked me on the date, he told me that he likes Chinese food. I'm like, "Oh, perfect." I bet he hasn't been to this place, but I know, like, for anyone Chinese that might be watching this, I know Panda Express is not real Chinese food, but I don't like real Chinese food, so, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. You know, the really sad thing too is that, my own dad, like, didn't even tell me happy birthday because I got into an argument with him, a couple of days ago, which sucks, but whatever. So, yeah. My brain is, like, everywhere, like, there's so much stuff I wanna talk to you guys about, but, like, speaking of my dad, I feel like one of the weird things about being here in Japan that does have me thinking about, going back to the US at times is seeing how fast time goes by. Like, I was looking through my phone just the other day, and of course, it always gives you, like, reminders and stuff, like, if you use Google Photos, like how I do, and it shows you, like, the old pictures and stuff that you took. And I got a picture that the last picture that I took of me and Pumpkin before I went to Japan. And for those of you that don't know, Pumpkin is my cat who I've had for a huge portion of my life. And he recently died this summer. And like beyond just thinking about my cat, I'm gonna apologize in advance if I cry. Sorry, I can't edit this in real time. But I was talking to my parents and I wanted to chat with my dad on Zoom. And my parents are old and they're not very good with technology. And I have anger problems when it comes to explaining things. I can never do an IT job. I'm like, come on, like who hasn't used Zoom at this day and time? And it's not like just, regular things like, oh, like, what website do I go to? But like everything. I had to explain like how to open up an email. And I'm like, how are you guys my parents? So yeah, I was talking to, my mom and dad, and I literally, like, almost wanted to break down and cry. It reminded me of when I saw my grandfather before he died, and mind you that I'm sorry to put my parents' business out there, and I hope they're not watching this, but I haven't seen my parents in nearly 6 years when I was last in the US. Unlike most foreigners here, I've never gone back to the US at all, not for a single break, and the moment that I, like, saw my parents on camera, I couldn't hold back what I wanted to say to them, and I instantly was like, "Wow, like, you guys look different," and so they got offended, of course. I told them that I couldn't recognize them, and what I meant by that was I didn't go into detail to them, they look so much older, like, I don't even recognize my own mom and dad anymore, and mind you, when I was living in the US, I lived with my parents, so, like, experiencing everything on my own here in Japan, like, this is all new for me, like, having my own place and things like that. And so it's just scary, like, seeing like all the health problems and stuff my parents have. I've talked about the stuff on Patreon. There's some videos that you guys haven't seen yet on Patreon talking about some new problems that are going on with my parents. But my dad still isn't out of his situation, and now my mom's having health problems too. And it's scary to think about that every decision that you make inside of your life, like all of the choices that you make, you can't really go back on them, or at least not the time part. Like, for example, with Pumpkin, I can tell myself, oh, if I stayed in the US, I could have taken care of him and he would have never gotten sick because I wouldn't have let him outside and that dog wouldn't have bit him and this, that, and the other. And then, like with my parents, sure, I can always make a trip to go back to the US and see them before they die or something. But at the same time, I'll always feel like I regret leaving them and not being able to take care of them when, they're sick and, whatever. And it also hurts too, because there's questions that I want to ask them, but I know I can't comfortably ask them because, especially my mom, like my dad is ignorant. Like he joked at his own father's, mind you, his mother had died. He joked at his father's funeral and said that he wasn't a real Saiyan, and was like just making all type of like Dragon Ball Z jokes and whatnot, like at the actual funeral. And so like he, loosened up the mood or whatever, or lightened it up. But I don't have that. I get my sense of humor from my dad, but at the same time, like I cannot see myself like laughing and joking and like that at my parents' funeral. And I feel like the thing that makes it harder for myself is the fact that I've been really open and honest with you guys on my channel. If you've been here for a while, you know I have a horrible relationship with my family. I'm also not married, of course, and I don't have my own kids or anything like that. So it's scary just thinking like, okay, one day I'm going to get a call from my parents and they're not going to my dad already can't work anymore. So I know my mom is nearing that. My mom has been working since she was about, I think, 9 or 10 years old, and she's never stopped working since, her entire life. She's never been married to a man that was taking care of her. And don't get me wrong, I have my fair share of problems with, my parents too, but I'm sorry, I'm getting all over the place. My point is basically, I want to go back to the US at times. Like after seeing that, like I didn't even expect to cry. Like that like freaked me out. I was like, why am I feeling this way? But I knew that when I saw like how did 5-6 years make that big of a difference in the way that they look, I couldn't help but think like, wow, like my parents are legitimately getting old and they are sick. I know they're sick. They've told me they look sick. I saw that, again, not trying to put my mom business out there, but keeping it real, just seeing how my mom looked so much slimmer. And I knew that it wasn't from dieting, but like, I don't know if it's stress from work or from the conditions and stuff that she has going on. And it really hurts because I know that my parents, they'll never be open and honest with me and tell me exactly what's going on. And again, I know part of it's also my fault because I don't have the best relationship with them, but it's so deep. There's so many layers to what's going on. So it's hard to talk about those things. So yeah, like I feel between Pumpkin dying and that being so sudden, because it seemed like he was getting better, and then my patrons know about this. It was really weird timing. I had just gotten like a job offer the same day that he had died. And I sent my mom a message because I was really excited about it. And my parents don't normally get back to me with that type of stuff anyway. Like I can message them and tell them like that I'm engaged or something. And they'll like message me a week later, like, oh, okay. Let's see how that turns out. And they were right. They're right. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, it like completely ruined my mood because I was like, oh my God, like really? And then like the fact that I couldn't be there's nothing I can do. And all I can do is just advise them what they should do as far as taking care of him, as he's dying. And then you have second thoughts and everything and you question everything you chose. Like I felt really, really guilty even till now, thinking that I should have just put Pumpkin down when the vet had first recommended it. But I'll admit there's two different things. Like one part of it was for religious reasons. I didn't feel comfortable ending his life. I felt like if he were really not going to recover, like, you're not going to live a second longer, even as an animal, than God intends for you to. So my fear was putting him to sleep when he could have recovered because he was totally healthy before that. And he had cholangiohepatitis, which they claim is not normally something that you get from another animal or being bit by one, but nothing else makes sense. He got attacked by my next door neighbors at my parents' house, their dog. Their dog had got inside of our house because the door was open and it bit Pumpkin on the neck. And coincidentally, after that, like he just started having all of these random health problems that came out of nowhere. So Yeah, like I felt really guilty about that because I didn't fully understand what was going on with him, and I didn't do a lot of research on it because I was so busy trying to work on my relationship and get my job stuff situated that I just kind of ignored that. And then when I like realized like, oh my God, Pumpkin lost so much weight, like he's clearly really sick because Pumpkin was fat and greedy like me. So I knew something was wrong when he wasn't eating. So yeah, and then like the fact that he was struggling like to lay down and to go to the bathroom, but I just kept thinking that, everything was okay or that it was going to get better. Like my mind just couldn't even process he's going to die. And I feel that way about my parents too. Like my brain cannot process that. Like my parents they're crazy, especially my dad. And especially since my dad jokes about death all the time and even about it with other people. I can literally remember like just crazy, ignorant things that he said. It's different when it's your turn now. When it's like, okay, you're not a baby anymore. Your parents can actually die now. Like they're not my parents had me when they were 31. I will be 31 in what I can't do math, y'all. 6, 7 years or whatever. Like it seems like a long time from now, but that's how long I've been in Japan, basically. I came here when I was 20 years old. I'm now 26. And just saying that number just feels so weird because I remember being 20 and being like, oh my God, like I love older guys, 25-year-olds. They're so cute. They're so smart. They're so whatever. And now I'm like, 25. Like I wouldn't even date a 25-year-old if you slid in my DMs. I'm not even kidding with y'all. Like even right now, and I just turned 26. So I that's the way that like not everyone feels like how I do, but I swear like you're something about your brain or whatever, like it just changes after that age. And I never believed that. I always felt like it was people trying to gatekeep and just say like, oh, you're not really an adult or whatever because you were mature. And after I turned 25, I was like, no, like they were definitely onto something because I'm gonna put my subscribers on blast. Man, y'all be sending me messages sometimes, and I'll be like, damn, you stupid. But then I'm like, okay, you're a YouTuber. Your job is to help people, not to be a bully. So I just gotta read it and be like, okay, let me see how I can help this person. I literally be getting messages from people that'll be like, I can't even say the story because y'all gonna know who this is. All right, let me change it a little bit. You'll be like, yeah, like, I'm living in, Los Angeles, and this Japanese guy, he took me out for Mexican food and we had sex. But yeah, after we had sex, he didn't call me back, but he paid for the food and it was an expensive Mexican restaurant. So yeah, he's been ignoring me. So I'm planning to move to Japan, and he told me that, he's taking care of his grandma right now. So he's not living by himself. But after he's done, he said that we'll get a place together. So I'm going to drop my job, quit everything, move there for him, and we're going to get married. And I'm like, okay. I mean, if you pay me some money, maybe I'll answer your question. But I literally like get crazy stuff like that all the time. But I also have to remind myself that when I'm reading stuff that I was an idiot like that too. Like, I don't know if my videos even, I've completely forgot about this chat thing over here. I don't know if my video's still up on it or if I even went into the detail that I did, because I'm never going to watch that video again because just thinking about that story makes me feel like an idiot. I remember my first trip that I went on ever by myself was I took a flight to New York when I was working at Walgreens and I had no money. I used my entire $300 check to go to Walgreens, to go to New York, and I got catfished by this guy. And I had inside of my mind that I was going to marry this dude and I loved him so much. And I was 19 years old and I was an idiot. What was I 19? I think I was 18 going on 19, or I was 19 going on 20. I think I was 18 going on 19. Yeah, I was an idiot. And of course, I didn't really tell nobody anything because I thought everybody was just a hater. Nobody understood. But the couple of people that I told were just thinking like, have you even met this person? Like, why would you go travel to meet them? And I just kept making up excuses like, oh, it's just a couple $100 and I always wanted to go to New York, which that part is true. But yeah, really, really big, dumb, stupid mistake. And if I ever heard like any of my friends say they were doing that right now, I would be ready to smack them. And I sometimes read like messages from other people with the same ideas. They have a boyfriend or girlfriend and they just want to pack up their bags and leave, and they think they're going to do this, that, and the other. And it's like, I don't wish anything harmful over people. I'm not trying to be bitter because of my own situation, but rather I think about what my situation is and what I've gone through to get to where I am. And I think about all of the stuff that I've been through. And I literally hear people saying the exact same story that I have. And it's like, oh my God, I did the same thing. And I hope that for you it works out. But it's so hard to talk to like I mean, I'm a young person too. Y'all be talking to me like I'm crusty as hell or something. I know I joke about it, but I'm young, goddammit. Like y'all be talking to me like I'm 50 or something. Like I joke about it and I feel like it, but I'm still in my 20s. Like people in their 30s and 40s listen to me and like, girl, like you're 26 years old, like calm down. But yeah, it's just amazing how just a few years makes that big of a difference. So I forgot what I was saying to you guys. Yeah, anyway, you see their story in a situation, but it's hard to talk to people, I feel, that are like under 25 because they're so wrapped up in emotions and everybody thinks they're a unicorn, whether it's a guy or a girl. And that's the part we need to get on. Guys, men, you do the same thing girls do. When y'all are in it, you know it's real when a man is in love. They do the same crap that you see these girls do with F boys, and it's like F girls exist too. Like Sachiko ain't dumb. She know how to play y'all. Like y'all be thinking that she just talking to you. Why stop with one foreign boyfriend? You could have 5. So yeah, like I feel bad for these people because you want to be honest with them and tell them what you really think and feel about the relationship, but you're like, it's not my place to say it. And I know if I say it, you're not gonna trust me. I just seem like a hater, whatever. So I've literally like lost a couple of friends there, and I had one that I talked about a while ago. I'll say their name because they ain't ever gonna come on here. Her name was Royce, and she really left for other reasons because she was having issues at school. But we got into a huge argument over one of the boys that we were going to school together with, and I tried to tell her, I was like, he don't like you. If he liked you, like he would make time for you. And she was just so adamant that she knew what she was doing, that they were going to get married, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, whatever, fine, prove me wrong. And, you know, this is a white, blonde haired, blue eyed girl. She was very petite. She was shorter than me. Royce was, I think, 5 feet or 5'1". Like, and, you know, I'm basically 5'4". So she was, you know, really short hair. And she, you know, in Japan, white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes. Come on now, y'all. So she having problems. But I felt like in her mind, she just thought that I was a hater. And Royce was a couple of years younger than me. So I just turned 21. Royce was, I think, 19 going on 20 or something like that. But yeah, it's hard to talk to people and be real with them. Like you want to help them out of love, but you also realize, wow, they're doing exactly what I did. Like I will say in all honesty, a lot of the time I didn't have people really trying to help me out of love, but rather trying to hold me back and stop me from doing things because they were jealous. But at the same time, like now you can look back and reflect on those things and you find yourself trying to help other people, but then they don't want to listen to you because they think you just don't understand who they're dating. You don't understand their situation type thing. So it's whatever. Thank you, everybody, for telling me happy birthday. And yeah, just to explain again for anybody that just came in, yeah, I was supposed to start at 8. I put off a little ghetto black card, and I decided to change the start time to 9 a.m. I talked to my mom this morning, and I got the bright idea, like, let's wash my hair and put in extensions. And that took me a while to do that and makeup and stuff like that. So I'm supposed to have a date tonight, so we'll see how that goes. I'll talk about it on Patreon if I do. But yeah, I'm done ranting to you guys now about old people talk. Long story short, basically, I feel old. Secondly, I feel sad, like not just because I'm old, but realizing that as I'm getting older, my parents are too. Like they're not going to be here forever. And that literally, like, I'm sorry, I know that this is like a Black man's pride and joy, for lack of a better term, but seeing my daddy bald headed, like where I could just slap him upside his head, I was like, oh my God, like I've never seen my dad's hair that low. Like it was like gone. Like I don't know what happened to it. And then like just looking at my parents, and it just like, I can't even explain it. Like it just seemed really weird. It's like, wow, like I'm really an adult. And then it just scares me because like I told you guys, keeping it honest and real with you, I'm not in the best situation as I should be financially. Things are going to get better. Actually, I didn't get to talk about this in detail yet on Patreon, but I have now 2 regular jobs here besides being a hoe. I got a Saturday job now, and I'm also working a Monday through Friday job. And so while I'm working on getting my stuff together, how can I say, it's kind of weird because just thinking like, oh my God, like what if my mom were to die like tomorrow? Like I don't have money to go back to the US. I don't know how to arrange a plan for a funeral. Then I kind of freak out like, oh my God, like now I really need to be serious about my work. Like I can't just quit my job and then say, oh, F it, I'm going back to the US. I'll live with my mom. No, like now, welcome to the real world. Not married, no kids, no backup plan type thing. Like you have to take care of yourself. And that's a scary reality. So yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Chris. Wow. Okay, wow. I feel so uncomfortable. That's a lot of money. Thank you. I definitely can use it. Thank you, seriously. But yeah, like I don't even, how do you look through this? Because I'm missing messages. Y'all gonna have to work with me. Okay. Okay, now I see. I'm gonna ruin this live stream by being controversial, but I ain't no bitch, so I'm gonna answer this question. No, I have not been vaccinated, and I've shared my thoughts on that. I personally don't plan to get it. I might change my mind and consider it later. I don't know, but as of right now, my own personal choice. Keeping it honest with you, I can easily lie and say, "Oh yeah, I've been vaccinated." How y'all gonna find out? But nope, I personally have just chosen not to. I have been tested for COVID. I've come into close contact, but no, I have not been vaccinated. I feel like Japan is kind of taken it the same way that it is in the US, where there's two different extremes of people, where some people feel really, trusting towards it and just want to end it all. And another group of people are just, let's say trusting, yeah, really trusting towards it. And other people that are completely against it. It's my birthday. I ain't trying to have no political argument with y'all right now. Please let's not get into this. We can talk about Trump later. But even in Japan, like the majority of people that have been vaccinated, it's not because they feel so strongly for it, like how it is in the US, where there's almost like a tell my own opinion, bullying type mentality. But rather in Japan, most jobs have required you to get it, where it's no longer a choice. So that's kind of what's happening now in the US, where a lot of places are like, what is it, 100 or more employees or something like that? But that wasn't always the case in the US. It was just a matter of peer pressure with everyone trying to ask you to get it and whatever about that. So, but I will say this, and then I'll get off of that subject. I feel like, how can I say, a lot of the problem that the US is going through right now has nothing to do with Japanese or Asian people having some sort of superior genes to handling viruses and whatnot, but rather Japanese people have, I hate to say this, I got to keep it real, y'all. They've been wearing their masks this whole time. Whereas in the US, there's been so much mixed information where it's like, if you've been vaccinated, you can take off your mask now. You can do everything you used to do. And that clearly is not the case. So I feel like for the simple fact that they still don't fully understand how this virus spreads, and the fact that they've made this special exception for the time being, where they've allowed something to get approved as, vaccine so quickly. My mother is an RN. I used to be a pharmacy tech. I understand how that type of stuff works. Am I a doctor? No, but I have a lot of information that they do. My mom is a nurse is the one who's going to give you your vaccine. That's my mom's job. And you want to know what? I'm standing my ground on this. I know how long it's supposed to take for these type of things to get cleared, and nothing really adds up. The fact they don't understand what's going on, they don't fully understand what stops you from getting it. Because keep in mind, in Japan, we don't even have hot water here. Even if you're at home, I've never in my life seen a Japanese person press that little hot water, like what do they call the little water heater, whatever button thing. I've dated so many people here, y'all. Never seen a single person, and I've worked so many jobs. Never seen that happen where they press that button before washing their hands. Cold water every time. Spritz 2 seconds out. So I really think it has more so to do with that, because this place is overcrowded. You can't social distance here. And for them, social distancing is sitting one chair apart. That ain't no 6 feet. It's not even 3 feet. So I think it really just has to do with a matter of wearing masks, because I'm not Japanese and I don't have COVID, never had it. So we ain't finna get into all of that stuff. Like I said, it's political. And I also want to clarify, I am not judging you. You can do whatever you want to. That's your body, your choice. I'm just answering the question, have I been vaccinated? No, I have not. And I'm being honest with my answer. Like I said, I can lie and tell whatever the crowd wants to hear to make you happy, but nope, have no interest in doing that. I am my own person. So if you feel better being vaccinated and you think that that's what you want to do, then by all means, go ahead. So yeah, thank you everyone for telling me happy birthday. I'm actually surprised at the amount of people that have joined here. I thought it was going to be like 2 people and then I was going to be talking to myself. So I feel more comfortable. Like I feel like I'm not even talking to you guys. And it's also weird seeing your usernames in real time, because I gotten to the point where I can recognize a lot of you guys. Like I know your name. Thank you for sharing your opinions on the vaccine too. So I know I'm not the only crazy person. But oh, about my date. You know, the really weird thing is I'm starting to feel like maybe I do have a type. Like it's hard to explain, but yeah, the guy that I'm talking to, he's nice. He's a civil engineer. I just started talking to him, so I don't know enough about him to really like say, oh, this is the perfect guy, whatever. Y'all know I ain't no dummy. I already got my guard up. I know he's gonna be an F boy, but give him a chance. He's 31, which has become like my new like minimum age now. I feel like I've become pickier. Like it's hard to explain. Like I'm gonna sound like an animal, but for longevity purposes, is that how you say that word? I'm forgetting how to speak properly. I'm not even gonna blame it on Japanese. However you say that, things that last a long time. I feel like because I'm always paranoid about people dying around me, not that you should be worried about that, or should you? Um, I feel like I would prefer to date a guy that's younger than me. But then it's like, no offense, men, but dang, like a lot of y'all are just so stupid when y'all young. And I don't have, like, it's hard to explain. And it made me kind of mad because, like, my parents don't know me. Y'all probably don't know me either because I know y'all probably think the same thing. My parents thought that I would want to have a guy that I can boss around. And I joke about it, but that is like a total turnoff. Like, I do not want to do this, like, afraid of me. I talked about this a little bit on Patreon the other day when I was on Zoom, but I don't want to date somebody who's afraid of me. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're dating a guy and, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you have to tell him everything to do. Be like, boy, like, get that chicken out the freezer. Like, lick my pussy. Like, I don't want a relationship like that. Like, I want you to be your own person. And actually, I like being told what to do. Like, I'm normally the one, I'm a teacher. Like, I spend my whole day telling people what to do. I spend all my time on YouTube giving people advice, telling them what to do. When I come home, I want somebody like, oh, yes, daddy. Like, that's the type of lifestyle that I want to have, okay? Like, I don't want it to be where it's like, I got to get out my belt and tell you what to do and be like, didn't I tell you get off that video game? Like, I ain't trying to do those like a ghetto, like baby mama type BET movie type style wives or whatever. Like that is not my goal. I'm black, but don't confuse black and ghetto. They are not the same thing. I don't want that type of relationship. Like if I have to tell you like what to do and remind you of, you know, you're an adult and there's life out there. And plus I feel like younger guys cheat more. Like I get it that older men can cheat too. But in my experience, honestly, and my patrons know, for the most part, with the older guys that I've dated, relationships just didn't work out because of myself. Like I found something else wrong with the relationship. It was never cheating. Whereas with younger guys, it's almost always where the relationship seems completely perfect. And then they're a serial cheater. And it's like, and then it sucks because the younger guys are almost always the cuter ones too. And when I say younger, I don't necessarily mean like a guy that's like, 18. I don't do that young. But I mean like just my age and younger. When I say younger guy, I mean like any guy that is under the age of 30 at this point. Because it's like if you're talking to a guy under 30, there's a 99% chance he's an F boy. Like at least if he's in the 30s range, he's slowly starting, he's either completely out of that and he's like, oh, okay, I want to get married. Or he's like, maybe I'll fuck around a couple more girls, break their heart and lie to them, and then I'm done ghosting bitches. Like it's gonna be one or the other. But like if you're talking to a guy in his 20s, like he just realized that his dick works. He's like, wait, like I can bust in girls and my mother doesn't have to know about it. I have my own apartment. Like they're excited about that type of stuff. So I don't feel like dealing with that. So what are your career plans? You change your job again. Damn, y'all saying I got a track record or something? What y'all trying to say? Am I gonna change my job again? Well, actually, yeah, you're right. But no. Let me explain. I do plan to keep my jobs, both of them. I actually really like I literally have the perfect situation. In fact, I was going to share a screenshot of it here, but I was like, I did too many community posts. I was trying to give it a break. I negotiated my salary to be double, not a few dollars more, double what they were offering me for the Saturday job. And so don't get me wrong, it's not a ton of money, but I've never gotten a company to make that big of a change for me. So long story short, I have a really good setup. My work hours are super short. I'm currently working from 8 to 1:05 every day. And then I also have the Saturday job. Now that job is longer. So that job I think is from 9 to 4, 9:45, 9:45 until 4 p.m. on Saturdays. But I haven't started that job yet. My current plan right now, which I haven't gone into detail yet publicly on YouTube, but I guess I'll share this here for this live stream. I actually signed with a modeling agency, and it's completely like a freak thing, like freak accident, not really an accident because I intentionally did this, but long story short, you're probably not watching this, but there was a girl here that had asked me to make a video on modeling, and it was on one of my community posts where I'd asked for people to give me video ideas. And so yeah, I was like, I wanted to talk about this, but I'm not qualified. And so like I tried to scrounge for information because I honestly had thought about doing this a long time ago, and I get messages all the time on Instagram from people like, oh my God, you should be a model. I wish you like you should be a model, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can't be. Do you see my fat ass? I can't be no model. I'm not tall enough. I weigh too much. That ain't gonna happen for me. And I'm not trying to talk crap on myself because then you're gonna be like, girl, like you're pretty. No. This is not girls next door type stuff. Models are beautiful, or they have some sort of like exotic, like feature, like look going on for them. I fall into neither of those categories. Like, I don't care how cute you might think I am inside of your book. No. Come to Japan and see the girls here that show up for these modeling auditions. They make me look like poop. And I'm not just talking about because of my skin complexion. I mean, like, legitimately, where it's like, oh, I thought I was cute. So, yeah. Anyway, I keep procrastinating every single day. Like, I told myself I was going to go today, but then I was like, I'm so tired. I couldn't go to sleep last night. I was too excited because I'm like, oh my God, it's my birthday. And I was like, why am I excited? I'm not going to do anything today. But, yeah. And then, like, this is a good enough subject, but it took me so long to edit that picture for Instagram. I stayed up all night because I started taking pictures. And then I was like, okay, let me try to add that same like birthday banner that I did a few years ago for my 23rd birthday. And so I had to try to find that picture. And I was like, wait, I used it for a video thumbnail. Let me find a video thumbnail. But like my MacBook has like issues and whatnot with the screen and what do they call the little mouse pad thingy? Whatever you call that. God, I can't remember the word for it. What do you call that? The thing that you use to like move the mouse on. Trackpad. The trackpad. Is that right? Yes. Trackpad. Whatever that thing is called. So yeah, long story short, it started like glitching out. My battery was down to like 5%, and the computer is old now, so it only charges if I'm not using it. And so I was like, I gotta get this to work now. And I did it just in time. I only had like 3% left. I sent the picture to my email, then I downloaded it back on my phone, then I added it to the video, and I was like, it's perfect, just like before. And yeah, the reason I wore my hair curly is because both my boss and my white coworker, I'm not trying to get on y'all white people, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all push my buttons. I was showing them my student ID because I had to talk to them about something what was it about? Something about a My Number card. And I was telling them about how long I'd been in Japan. And she was like, oh my God, like, is that your natural hair? Like, you look so young. Like, look at your baby face. And I'm like, I look young. Like, excuse me? Like, I am young. Like, I'm 25 at the time. I'm 25 years old. What the fuck are you talking about? And so then, like, of course, she had to, like, brushing it up before, she saw my facial expression. She was like, but not that you're old, but I mean, it's like, because she was like, why do you straighten your hair? Like, your hair looks so pretty curly. I was like, yeah, everybody says that. Like, when you have curly hair, you don't like your hair. It's just the way that God does. I won't say God designed it that way, but it's human nature. So same difference. We never like what we have. And this is another touchy, subject, but I'm gonna keep it real here. And I know that people are going to get mad at me about this, but again, keeping it real. Same thing goes for like race-wise. If we can all be real with ourselves, at some point in your life, especially as a Black person, you probably wish that you were white. Why would you not want to be? Look at the privilege that it comes with, standard of beauty, etc. Okay. White people, what do? They tan themselves. So, it's that type of thing. They curl their hair. Like, for example, my boss, she's telling me how she used to get perms to relax her hair to look like how my hair did. And I'm like, I got a relaxer to look like you. And that's why I'm bald headed right now. So that's literally like the way that it goes. Like, whatever you have, you don't want it. And another thing like really surprised me was like, think about context. Like, okay, normally like I'm wearing contact lenses. So when, you look at contacts at the options that they sell brown contact lenses. And when I was younger, I was always thinking like, why would anybody buy brown contacts? How stupid. But look at the person that has blue eyes. For them, they might want to see what it's like having brown eyes. I literally have watched videos when I was a kid, just seeing like girls with blonde hair dye their hair black. And that interested me. Like, wow, somebody that has blonde hair, they want to have black hair. So, yeah, like, just little things like that. So, you're never satisfied with whatever you have. You learn to deal with it. You get used to it. And yeah, I know, like, y'all like, what? Like, yep, I said it because it's the truth. It's the truth. So, even if that's not exactly your situation, you a damn lie if you ain't ever thought about, what would my life be like if I were not black? And vice versa. So yeah, like it's just the reality. Like if you have straight hair, you want curly hair. You have curly hair, you want straight hair. Even within the black community, we have people battling between hair types. People that have 4-type hair want 3-type. People with 3-type hair wish they have 4-type hair. So it's a never ending thing. And of course, there's always going to be people like, oh, I never thought like that because I'm perfect. I've always loved myself. Well, good for you, sweetheart. But most of us, at some point, we've thought, I'd rather have this. And then, of course, you have your days where you feel really confident and you love what you have. I remember being younger and thinking to myself, like, wow, like, I'm glad that my hair is curly and that I don't have to do anything to it. When I go to the beach, my hair gets wet. It actually looks better. I'm watching everybody else freak out and panic over, Becky get her hair wet and she look like a, wet dog or something. But then in my mind, my hair dries. I'm like, oh my God, like a poodle. So it's one of those things where it doesn't matter how perfect you think you look or think you are, there's going to be something about you that you want to change or that you don't like about yourself. And I'll go into something else too. My lips. This actually used to be a really like, not sore point, but like something I felt really self-conscious about when I was younger, because it wasn't a trend to have big lips back then. I don't even have the biggest mouth, but to me, I felt like I did. I used to go to school. I went to private school, went to school with a lot of white people, and they didn't say anything about it. But from my perspective, I noticed everything. I noticed, oh my God, like look at my big honker and and look at my mouth and just like even my hips. I said this to somebody recently, but I remember when I used to work at Walmart. Y'all need to be up in my business, okay? I don't regret sharing this. I know my ex in here watching this. Man, I was dumb. When I was 16 years old, I wanted to have a baby with my boyfriend. And don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me, okay? I'm old now. We went to Babies R Us. And I was looking and I was like, they have a device that is made to slim your hips down after giving birth. Y'all can't even fathom this right now because there are literally people going to Miami and getting plastic surgery to widen their hips to match their BBL type stuff. So just like thinking about the people that did that and all the little hacks and tricks to make your lips look thinner, just weird little things like that. I used to be really self-conscious about my eyes even because now like being here in Japan, like it's funny. People say I have big eyes, which is hilarious. But in the US, like people used to comment on that all the time, your eyes are small, or like ask me if I was mixed, if I had Asian in me, like, crap like that. So yeah. You can get plastic surgery for everything. Like, look at them girls. Have y'all ever seen, what's her name? Kylie Jenner, whatever? Y'all do realize them hips are not hers. that's surgery. So a lot of them girls, it's not just them getting, fat injected in their butt and implants back there. They can do stuff to add some more curves. They're like, look at Kim, for example. None of that stuff is natural. That's why their hips and stuff don't match their body. So that's their choice. They do what they want to do. But just thinking like the stuff that you don't like about yourself, like, I could think of plenty of people that felt self-conscious, myself included, about being busty. Even to this day, like I have moments where I feel self-conscious, depending on where I am, especially being in Asia, with having breasts. But then at the same time, another girl's thinking like, girl, like I would love to be you. Like people are buying push-up bras to get what I have naturally. And for me, I'm like, oh my God, like I don't want people to see me. It's one thing to be a hoe online, but like in real life, when you're in public and you're attracting creepy people and people are coming up to you trying to touch you or assuming things about you and people are literally just looking there, like, whatever. And there's no sensitivity to that, so to speak. How can I say that? There is sensitivity to it because they're not used to seeing it. Whereas in the US, Girls commonly wear V-necks, crop tops, whatever. Ain't nobody gonna care if you got that on. But here in Japan, if people can see your collarbone, you're gonna give boys nosebleeds and whatnot. So yeah. He said her face ain't hers either. Yeah, you're right about that. So yeah, like you can get surgery done on everything. And it's so crazy because the things, and this goes for everybody, not just myself, but like the things that you hate about yourself, someone else absolutely loves about you. And like even for myself, like I feel that way now. Like I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. It's so weird now being an adult and like looking back and seeing all the people that I was friends with, not really friends with, but that I went to school with and that wouldn't have given me the time of day. Like in my DMs now on Instagram, I'm like leaving them on red because I don't want them anymore. And it's weird how like I was not seen as attractive when I was in school. Like I had people that had crushes on me, but for the most part, like I was a borderline lame. Like I was one of those kids who I wasn't lame enough to like get bullied, but I wasn't like cool enough to really hang out with like the cool kids. Like I could talk to them without them treating my life or something, but I knew my place basically. I ain't have boys like lining up and begging to date me or something. I ain't have no dance, no date for no dance. I never went to any of my school dances. I was not popular at all. So it's actually really funny and weird, like getting all this attention as an adult. And I'm glad that things worked out that way because while everybody else had their fun when we were in junior high school and high school, I have the last laugh. In fact, I didn't even find it funny. I remember right before I came to Japan, I came across this girl. I'm going to say her name. I shouldn't say her name, but I'm going to say her name. No, we're going to change her name because she has a very distinct name. I ain't trying to put her on blast. We're going to call her Jocelyn. So I'm sorry if there's a Jocelyn watching this. I had went to school with this girl since we were in first grade, and she was so beautiful. And she probably still is. Very beautiful. She literally looked like a model. The only thing was that the girl was bald-headed, and because she was bald-headed, she was very insecure. So, of course, her parents let her wear weave, etc. I always had long hair, but my mom didn't let me wear fake hair, and I wasn't allowed to relax my hair. And now I understand why. But anyway, she was a bully, though. So she'd pretend to be your friend, and then she'd talk crap about you. Like she was spreading rumors around the school, and this is before I really became one, but telling people that I was a hoe and that I had, sucked these dudes' dick in a band room or whatever. I used to play the flute at my school. And so people weren't believing it because they're like, Sharon? Like the quiet girl? They're like, really? And so I didn't know about this at first. I was thinking she was trying to be my friend. And then I overheard her talking to somebody the other day, at that time, right in front of me, basically. And she was like, God wastes long hair on ugly bitches. And I was like, damn, like I know she's talking about me. But she was literally just talking to me the other day. No, it was the same day, I think, the same day. And when she was playing in my hair, you know how black girls are. They ain't really trying to play in your hair. They're trying to feel for the tracks and see if your mama lying or something. Somebody snuck a few tracks up in your head. That ain't your real hair type thing. And I straightened my hair. So I was allowed to straighten my hair with a flat iron, but I couldn't get a relaxer. And it really hurt my feelings. So just like little things like that. But long story short, shortly before I came to Japan, I ran into her at Walmart. And I couldn't believe it. Because mind you, this is one of the cool kids. Like, always got on the Jordan shoes, always got their hair done, whatever the, latest hairstyle was. So everybody wearing a mohawk, they got their hair braided in a mohawk. Everybody wearing braids, they got their hair, braided up in braids. And when she saw me, she looked like she was my best friend. Hey, Sherry, how are you? Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. And she was selling like these cell phones or whatever for Boost Mobile, phone plans. And I'm thinking like, wow, the tables turned. She had 2 kids. She was a baby mama, didn't go to college. And I'm not trying to judge anybody here watching this, but my point was basically to say the people that everybody had admired to look up to, they don't look like that anymore. Jocelyn, she's a fat ass. She's a baby mama. She ain't got no education. The boys are all up over her. Now they're all chasing after me. And it's so crazy because, of course, I have the ability. I can be like how she was. I spoke to her like she was my friend. I told her, I'm sorry, but, I'm actually planning to leave, go to Japan. She couldn't believe it. She probably didn't even think I was being honest with her. Like I was, just, I don't even know what to say. Basically lying to her, like, sure, you're going to Japan. But I was. And I had a whole conversation with her, act like she was my friend, didn't even, act, how can I say, resentful, whatever, towards her. let it go, didn't care. But it was just so weird. And that's just one example of many, because that one stood out to me the most because I had known her throughout my entire childhood. We had gone to school together, for all of those years, on and off, because I did switch schools, but she always lived in the same area. So whenever I would go back to public school, she would still be there. So it's just so weird seeing how things change. There was another guy. I can't say this because I know one of my junior high school friends on here, but fuck it. I'm going to say it anyway. There was this boy. We're going to call him Douglas. Y'all going to know who I'm talking about if you know me in real life. Every girl liked this boy in our class. You know how people were back then. Like before all of this new politically correct, natural movement trends, people up front talking about how they basically wanted people that had white traits and features. There was this boy in our class that was really light skinned, had really light gray eyes, and everybody was all over him. He was muscular, and he wasn't a jerk, but he was full of himself because every girl liked him. And yeah, this was back in 8th grade. He seemed to have had a little bit of interest in me, but it seemed more like in the, I just want to make sure you're on the bandwagon and like me too, not a, I would ever give you the time of day type thing. So again, mind you, he was like one of the cool kids and I was a lame, borderline lame. I was one of those kids that like you forgot was there. So yeah, didn't give me time of day, didn't talk to me. But then suddenly he finds me on Instagram, sends me a message. Oh, like, yeah, how you doing? Why you all the way out there in Tokyo? Yeah, like, I'm planning to go out there for my birthday. Nigga said that 3 years ago. Where he at? His accountant got hacked and everything. So it's just so weird, like seeing people now like reach out to me and people that didn't think that I was even an average looking person. Now they're all over me. So my point is basically to say, your situation now, what you think you don't like about yourself, you're probably going to love about yourself later. Other people might like about you too. And the people that you admire and think are so beautiful, so much better than you are, they're dealing with their own crap. Like, I know there's people that look at me and think, oh my God, you're so gorgeous, you're so beautiful. I can name 100 things on my body that I do not like. So yeah, that's just the way that it is. There's always going to be stuff about you. And of course, as you get older, like things change. Like I'm already freaking out over the fact like, oh my God, what if I get a wrinkle? I'm not prepared for that. So I don't even know what I would do. Like, I feel like I don't want to mess up my body, especially not my face. But at the same time, like, I think it would bother me if I started like really looking old, where I might consider it. So like, even though I want to, I'm a hypocrite. I kind of speak from both sides. I sometimes don't want to judge people that have gone and got surgeries because I understand that insecurity, especially from a girl side of it, because unlike men, we actually have it a lot easier than men do, ladies. Like we got to keep it real as far as that goes. It's so easy for us to change stuff that we don't like about ourselves. But for guys, the main thing that women look at for you is height. If you're short as a man, I hate to put it the way, but you kind of just cursed. There's nothing you can do about your height. But there's girls that are tall too, just have to deal with it. But most men don't care about your height as a woman, but most women do care about your height as a man. So, and then, for most men, if you want to, go with how things supposed to be, PC, not PC style, but not going with that, men it's not generally acceptable for them to wear makeup. They can't change anything about themselves. Either you're cute or you're not. Either you're tall or you're not. As a woman, you don't have to have a natural fat ass. You can go ahead and get surgery for it. So, and then like same thing goes for breasts. Like you don't have boobs, you can go buy that. You can wear a push-up bra. Like they do have things that can kind of do that for a guy, but it doesn't work the same way. Like imagine if you were a dude, like you have to walk around with a Polish sausage in your pants or something to, show you got a dick print when you're wearing your gray sweats. Like the things you have to do as a man don't really work out the same way. But as a girl, like I can easily just buy a push-up bra from Victoria's Secret if I don't have breasts, and there you go. I can easily put on makeup and hide the fact that I have an acne scar right here. I can do things like that. But as a man, like, you don't have that choice. You ugly, you ugly. You short, you short. So the only thing you can do is, make more money. So that works for me. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read y'all comments. I'm talking too much. Oh, thank you. You're still super cute. Of course, other cute girls exist, but doesn't take away from one's own beauty. Yeah, not to brag and be full of myself, but I think that's something that is hard for a lot of people to believe because you spend so much time trying to compare yourself to other people. And to me, that kind of just goes back to being in Japan too. Like aside from even the beauty part of it, but comparing your life to other people's. So I know that I do that a lot. And I try not to do that, but it's really easy. You see other people that are married or other people that have a better, higher paying job than you. There's a school that I really want to work for. They ain't ever finna hire my black ass, but they pay their teachers good. Them teachers get paid more than 600,000 yen a month. One job, short work hours. So the job I'm currently working is the highest that I've ever gotten paid, but I ain't ever touched no 600,000. They would never hire me. So yeah, like you can always compare yourself to somebody else and say, I wish I had this relationship or I had this job or I had this face or I had this body or I was this race or I look this way. Like there's always things that you want that you can't have or that you cannot change about yourself, so to speak. And I feel in the long run, you become grateful for the fact that you couldn't do those things. And it's also good to think about the fact that when you compare yourself, there's things that you're doing right now that other people are not. Like, for example, a lot of people don't think about what they're currently doing that somebody else or what they've already done that someone else wishes that they had done. Like, for example, I was talking to these girls that I used to be friends with, have a video coming out about that soon, those black guys I used to work with. And I was talking to them because they went on their whole little rant and, they're in their 30s and they were talking how, they've never been on a date and they don't have a boyfriend here. And, they're feeling jealous towards me. And I'm like, I've dated every man that exists, but do I have a ring on my finger? No, I do not. Have I ever had a ring on my finger? No, I have not. So yeah, like that doesn't matter. And in my book, sure, you might feel like you're not successful because you don't have these things or you haven't lost the weight that you wanted to lose. But how I see it is you've traveled the world. I haven't been anywhere besides Japan. You've been all around and throughout Europe. You learned how to speak, Portuguese, like all this different type of stuff you've done that I have never had the experience to do and many other people have not. So it's easy to beat yourself up and be like, oh, I don't have this, but maybe your, experience isn't traveling, but it might just be the fact that you finished school. How many people your age have not done that? It could be the fact that you have a family and kids. How many people your age that want to have these things or older than you don't have that, but want that? So it's easy to think about what you don't have and what others do, but also brag on yourself. Like think about the things that you've accomplished and that you have in positions that you're in that other people wish they could relate to. So like even being here in Japan, I have a lot more experience than a normal person my age should have. And on top of that, like I get a lot of messages and stuff from people younger than me, but if you actually live in Japan, I'm actually the younger end of foreigners here that are actually working here. Normally people that are going to school here are older than what you're used to in the US. And they oftentimes go back to the US after they finish if they're younger. So like when it comes to working here, you'll pretty much never deal with anybody under the age of 25. That's pretty rare. I would say the average person here is about 26 and up. Because in my opinion, it seems like going to Japan is like a midlife crisis type move. Like people choose to go here after they've like done everything else that they wanted to do type thing. Like it's not their first immediate thought after I graduate, I want to go to Japan. So yeah. Happy birthday. 30s is better than 20s. You become wiser and feel more secure in your skin. By the way, you're not old at all. I would not want to relive being a teenager again. Yeah, same here, man, because my teenage years were rough. Both with my parents, my skin. I had all these rules. I wasn't allowed to wear makeup until I was 15 years old, and I got to share those pictures with y'all someday. I'm surprised none of my friends from back in the day exposed me yet. I used to wear some clown makeup, like bad. Like I still don't look good, but like it was really, really bad. Where I look back on that and I'm like, why did my mom let me walk outside like that? Why did I have friends? So I don't know how my teachers didn't laugh at me. So I was messed up. So, but I have fun. I have fun with the people that I dated. I shouldn't even be alive right now. Man, I did some crazy like Grand Theft Auto type stuff when I was a teenager. my dates are fun. I had a boyfriend that had a car when I got into my sophomore year, and I didn't have a driver's license at the time. I drove his car. We used to be speeding, like I mean speeding, like going max on that car, and we should not have been doing it. We did like we were drag racing with another friend of mine. So it used to be. I shouldn't be saying y'all names. It was me, my ex-boyfriend AJ, and I had another friend who we used to call AJ Escalade because he had an Escalade. His parents had money. He would literally drive an Escalade to school, y'all. His own car. And we were 15 years old. And he was speeding in it. So we would like split up the group of friends. So like my boyfriend just had, a Pontiac. And so like we normally do this type of stuff at night. We would race each other to different locations. So like we would race to Target and then like see who could like park their car first. We did it to go to the convenience store. We got pulled over a couple of times, but we kept getting off. Do not be like me, but I got to be honest, it was fun. Thankfully, nobody got killed or hurt. I would never do that now. I'd be scared out of my mind. I was pretty dumb as a teenager, but I did get in trouble one time. I got the dumb idea to do donuts in the parking lot with his car, and the police came, and it was one of those like Uncle Sam or Uncle Tom type black people. No, he wasn't having it. He he came into the parking lot, and I was scared out of my mind. He turned on his lights, and I was like, oh crap, like I never been pulled over before. Because this time I was the one in the driver's seat and I didn't have a license. It was after curfew. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And mind you, I'm 15. I'm not legally allowed to be out after 10 p.m. And it was a weekday night too, I think. And I'm with my boyfriend who was 18. No, I was 16 then. I was 16 at the time. Yeah. We ain't finna go down that road. Long story short, mama had to pick me up from the police station, but that ain't none of y'all business. So yeah, I got some wild hood stories from Chicago. I wasn't always a good kid, but yeah, height and wallet. Well, see, like at least a guy can do something about his wallet though. He can change. That's the thing where guys have the advantage over women. Anybody can go to school. And you don't have to go to school nowadays. I mean, going to school really helps. To me, that's a shortcut because even if you have no talent, then it sounded bad. But like even if you have like no talent, no entrepreneurship, no business ideas you can bring to the table, anybody can work for someone else. And depending on what you choose to get a career in, it can be very profitable. Women like money, men like looks. If you can at least make money, it'll make up for the fact that you don't have height. Now, I'm not finna lie, I ain't that type of girl, but there are plenty of women that will look past the fact that you're ugly and you're 10 inches shorter than her because you have a good salary. I don't recommend those girls, but they do exist. Likewise, there are men that will ignore the fact that you're a total airhead, you're an abusive type wife because you're pretty. It happens. So people like and do their own thing. Just ain't for me. What do you mean? I feel bullies get more respect though. I need to start reading this in real time because I'm like, I don't understand. They swing low, you dodge high. I was a loser in junior. I use the word loser all the time. Yeah, I was too. But the thing that really made me mad in junior high, that was one of my like craziest stories that I had. I think I shared this on here before. I'm gonna say your name because you really hurt my feelings. I was brand new and I didn't go to the school for 7th grade because I was getting bullied so bad at the end of my 6th grade year. Never told anybody this, but now for my friends watching this, you know, I was getting really bad, really bad. I was getting bullied really bad at the end of 6th grade. And I was afraid of going to school. So I asked my mom if she could take me and put me in another school. I didn't want to go to junior high school, public school. So I started going to this private Christian school for 7th grade. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't stand this. I want to leave here. And I wanted to go back to public school. I missed, my friends. And so, yeah, big mistake. When I went back for 8th grade, all of my friends, they acted like they didn't even remember me anymore. Like I was just nobody all over again. But I was like, okay, fine, I have the option to make new friends. Well, everybody at my school had like mostly came from this other elementary school that I didn't go to. So because it was hard to explain the way that it was cut off, I just so happened to have lived on the right side of the street to still go to this particular junior high school. And everyone else went to this other junior high school. So yeah, I was in 8th grade, and that's where I met the 3 people, really 4 people, I would say, are my best friends to this day. I refer to them as a fantastic 5, I think I called them, because together we make 5. But actually, we have some old YouTube videos that are up here. I'm surprised nobody's found them yet. They're not on my channel. It's on my friend's channel. I'll link them to you guys in a community post one day. We made some YouTube videos at school a long time ago, just dancing and being like goofy. But yeah, what was I about to say to you guys? Sorry for the COVID cough. Y'all vaccinated though, y'all be fine. Dang, what was I saying? Oh my God, I'm getting old people brain. I was making a point. I'm old, y'all. What are we talking about? Somebody remind me. I was saying something. Let me try to find a comment that inspired me to talk. I can't. I forgot what I was saying. Okay, I'm gonna just have to move on. Oh, we talking about being a loser. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I was getting used to switching classes, and mind you, I was the new kid. I got on my Walmart shoes. I'm quiet. I don't know anybody. And so, yeah, and I was going through a lot of crap at home. And this was shortly after I got in my cats. So anyway, I had switched to my English class. This was my second class, and it wasn't the first week of school. It was maybe like a month or two in the school. And somebody had their book still on the desk I was sitting at. And so I was kind of looking around and seeing like, is the person still in the classroom getting ready to move their stuff? And I didn't see anybody there. So mind you, it's my English class getting ready to start. I take their books and I put them down on the floor, and I'm sitting down on my seat. And this boy comes in. His name was Anthony Green. He came in and he started cursing me out and was telling me like, why you put my shit in the floor? Oh, I beat your ass. You lucky you ain't a nigga. I'll beat your ass, bitch. Or saying all this stuff to me. And I'm scared out of my mind. I'm shaking because I'm like, I've never been confronted by anybody like that. And definitely not a dude. I ain't do nothing. I'm new. I don't know anybody. I'm a lame. I was scared out of my mind because I don't even really have friends inside of my classroom yet. Like I had a few people that I was associates with that I kind of like made small talk with in school. I was like, hey, like, I like your gloves. Like, oh my God. So that's how I got involved with the emo kids. See, they accepted me. But back on subject. So anyway, I was scared, but I was like, no, I have to defend myself because if I just sit back and do nothing, I'm gonna become a target for bullies. And so I stood up and I was like, don't try to use that excuse. Say, I'm not a man. If you're going to beat my ass because I'm a nigga, then beat my ass now. Do it now. Hit me. I dare you. Do it. And he wouldn't do it. And so he started huffing and puffing, acting like he needed to be held back. And so he picked himself up off the floor. And I was like, good. I knew you would. And so he walked out the classroom, and then like it got me respect. People were like, damn, like you said that to him. Because Anthony Green was like one of the borderline cool kids. He was one of those lame cool kids, like the kid that kind of like hangs around with the real cool people. He was like that. Do you know that this man completely forgot me? And he sent me a message on Facebook, like I want to say a couple of years ago. And he was like, hey, beautiful, like introduce stuff, asking where I was from, etc. And I was like, I remember who you are. And he was like, really? Like, where do you know me from? I reminded him of everything. And he tried to say that he was sorry and that he didn't remember that. And I'm like, oh, well, I did. End of conversation, blocked. So I don't forget nothing. Not if you hurt me. I remember every single last second of it. So in my heart, I forgive him. But at the same time, again, like just thinking like it's weird that the people that treated me like crap, like back in school, now they're begging to kiss my pussy. It actually feels weird, like even. Thank you. It's hard to explain. Like, I actually wore my hair curly a couple of days ago, but I guess I'm not used to that attention from it being curly. In Japan, you get way more. Like, when my hair is curly here, I feel like I'm walking outside without a shirt on. Like, the amount of attention that you get, it's like everybody's eyes are like glued to you. I literally had a dude on the train take a picture of my hair next to me. And I'm like, dude, I clearly saw you just like, he must have had like the volume thing off. He clearly like picked up his phone and then down immediately. And it's like, I know you just took a picture of the side of my head. But it felt weird because like I'm so used to wearing extensions now. I mean, I already suffer from a fat head, but like not having all that extra weight on it, I was like, this actually feels kind of good, like to not be wearing extensions for once. But it also felt weird. Like it felt good because like, wow, I can actually feel like the air on my scalp and I don't have to worry about, my hair, I don't know, my extension coming out. That's never happened before, but I'm always like thinking in the back of my mind or like a track showing because that happens. So just not having to worry about those type of things. So, and it's hard to explain. I like curly hair on other people, just not myself. I love curly hair, like absolutely love it. In fact, that's one thing that I can't wait for when I do have kids. I can't wait to do their hair the right way since my mom ain't do that for me. So How is fashion in Japan, especially Tokyo? I don't know what exactly do you mean by that. If you ask a more specific question, like what about fashion? Like what do people wear? Because I feel like that hasn't really changed too much. But I mean, I don't have good descriptions to give for their fashion. I feel like Japanese fashion isn't really good, contrary to what it seems to be. I don't know, like, I feel like people put Japanese fashion on a pedestal, but it's pretty boring here. Like, I feel like American fashion is better. And I swear I'm not saying that because I'm an American, but I think from any country, like European fashion, like fashion in the UK, it's creative. Like in Japan, like the creative, cool side of things is just like Harajuku weird stuff that normal people don't wear outside of Harajuku. Like people just wear like 90s mom jeans like on the weekends or super long like flowy baggy like dresses like maxi dresses stuff like that, so it's comfortable. But I don't find like I never look at girls and I'm like, oh my god, I want your outfit. But like in the US I did that all the time. I'd be like, where do you get that from? You find it somewhere cheap, like, you know, Forever 21. In Japan, nope. The only people that I see that have on like really cute outfits is almost always like some young girl that's wearing inappropriate clothes, something she shouldn't be wearing in Japan. But she's young, she's a college student, she's going through her whole phase. It's one of those type things. Or it's a foreigner. Like I rarely see a Japanese girl wearing anything besides a coat where I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. I want to buy it. Where did you get it from? Type thing. And their shoes are cute too. But even that, like I feel like my standards have just lowered for what I consider as cute after coming here because there's not a lot of variety. Like it seems like everybody's wearing the same stuff. And you don't have a lot of space for clothes either. So like normal people, like I have a ton of clothes, believe it or not. I just don't wear 90% of my stuff. But like normal people literally rotate between the same like 3 to 5 outfits here. Three is too little. More like, 5 to 7 outfits. People just wear the same crap over and over again. And plus everybody here is a slave to their job anyway. So you ain't ever finna wear nothing cute. So yeah. I wish I had silky hair too, man. Y'all should have saw me this morning how I woke up. I look like I got electrocuted. No, but actually you just reminded me. Will I get myself a birthday present? The only gift that I have, besides Chris, thank you for your super chat. Um, from my job, they gave me a gift card to Caldi, which is a very popular international coffee store, but I don't, despite what I have right here, I actually don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee. And I used to be a barista at Starbucks, but I drink coffee to survive if I'm really tired, which is pretty often at work when I don't feel like going to work. But I don't like drink coffee for fun. I like going there because they normally have like some random like snacks from the US and some other like foreign countries too. Like they tend to have things like from Europe and the US inside of there. So yeah, I think it's only $10 though. So I can put it towards the 2 cents that I have left. So I will be going there and I have this to open. But I don't have any gifts. I like joked with my mom and I was like, yeah, I'm waiting your gift to come in the mail. Cause yeah, my parents don't care about me. I ain't got nothing since I've been here for my birthday. Never got a birthday gift. But it's cool, it's all right. I'll remember that when I'm putting them in a retirement home. So, or shall I say nursing home? Depends on my mood. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had. How do you say this? Is it pronounced Godiva or Godiva? How do you say that crap? I don't know how to pronounce it. Basically, expensive chocolate that Black people don't buy. Um, hmm, I feel like my comments come through here late because I'm just now like seeing stuff that I talked about like 5 minutes ago. Wow, y'all ain't trying to be nosy? No personal questions? Y'all don't want to know my body count? Who ate my ass yesterday? No personal questions? Everybody want to be quiet now? I'm trying to open up this box without breaking my nails. Oh, it has tape on it. I'm stupid. I don't even need this. I know I got a cavity or something. Shouldn't be eating chocolate. But y'all want to go somewhere? Any of y'all live in Tokyo or something? I want to do something. I'm tired of staying at home. I've been at home my entire break just playing video games pretty much every day. And I'm getting tired of it now. Which is weird because I hadn't played games in a long time. But I felt like I was a kid again. Because normally I'm like, there's no video game that I want to buy right now. But I started using my PlayStation 4 again. Why is it so hard to open? More tape. That's why. There we go. Who was I? Who was I? What in my recent vlog? See, y'all paying attention now. See, I should have been thinking like, you say you're single, so who is that? Well, spoiler alert for my patrons. I know one of you probably figured it out. For my patrons, that was Chiba Bay. And that was also the guy who I posted the picture of. And I was pretending like it was two new people. That was Chiba Bay and Jembe. So I was actually dating Chiba Bay, what I thought was seriously, for a month. He was a sugar daddy, and I didn't know it. I'm not kidding you guys. If you want to know the whole story, sign up for Patreon. But long story short, I'll share a little bit here. I started dating this guy that I met on the dating app Paris. And sorry, I want to see it. Okay. Yeah, I started dating him. And he was close to my age. He was 28. Can y'all see that? Ugh, it smells like booty. This is not good. It looks expensive, though. But yellow chocolate? This looks almost like a character from Kirby or something. Okay, anyway, sorry. But, but it looked like you were with someone. Yeah, it was. Like, that was the guy. Like, I was dating that guy in that video. That's who I was with. And I thought that he was my boyfriend. Like, he asked to be my boyfriend. And he told me that he was. And he treated me. In fact, if y'all piece together what I was saying, he actually paid the move-in fee for this apartment. Yeah, he gave me $3,000 to move into this apartment out of his own money. Never held his hand, never kissed him, swear to God, never fucked him, nothing. He took me out to all of these different places and restaurants. I ate gold for the first time, just did all type of stuff. He was really nice, really sweet guy. And he just randomly started ghosting me. And he even planned a date for Thanksgiving with me. But after he stopped communicating with me normally, I was like, nope, I see where this is going. I make a living on YouTube, partial living, telling people about this type of stuff. I'm not that damn stupid. You're clearly trying to talk to other people, because why are you suddenly not replying back like how you used to? I'm not playing that game. So I just blocked him and let everything go. But yeah, he ended up just being a sugar daddy with no sugar. This is a gold digger's dream. Literally a gold digger's dream. Every gold digger wants to be in a relationship with a man that's close to their age, spoils them, buys them whatever they want to, and doesn't require you to have sex unless you want to. This was that guy. And it wasn't even that I didn't want to. Time didn't come up. He didn't ask for it. And I was in a messed up situation. So all the information about that is on Patreon. I can't spoil it because it has to stay exclusive there. But there's so much. In fact, I haven't even finished telling the story there. I was just editing a video from the other day. So there's a lot to it. But yeah, basically, he was my boyfriend for all of 2 seconds. And yeah, but he did everything. Did y'all see how much money he spent on me? And then even buying those plushies, he spent. I didn't even show you guys the full video. I edited and cut out a lot of stuff because I didn't want any I allowed the things in which you could select the back of his head or if he walked into the camera or whatever, because I still wanted to show the ambience of the place. But I cut out a ton of footage, including lots of pictures that I really like, because we took like several pictures together at every place because he asked for it too. And it's like, why do you want pictures of me on your phone? You want me to have pictures of you on my phone. You're taking videos of me. You posting me up on your Snapchat. And then you ghost me? Like, what? I can't even understand men at this point. This is why I can't be no man. This is why I can't be no man. What the fuck? Oh, well, we see pay. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm glad he did, but that's the part that I don't get. My brain can't comprehend that. If I'm a man, I don't care how cute you look. I ain't ever paying no bitch nothing. 5,000. This man spent at least about $6,000 on me over the course of a month, and 3,000. That's just 3,000 is just half that he gave me. He had to have spent well over $3,000 on our dates, because every time we went on a date, we never just went to one place. We would have a pre-date, a date, and after date. That's how it went. So like when we first meet, he want to do something light, like we'll like go get coffee or something. Then he'll take me out to a restaurant, and instead of us like just going to the restaurant and like having a normal meal, spend $20-$40, and the man is like, I'm so broke, I don't want to do this again. Hey, suck my dick and I'll give you another date next week. No. This dude would go to a restaurant, a nice restaurant, make reservations, and he would order the whole menu. This is why I make my videos like how I do. I'm not just talking shit to you all. I walk, I walk my talk and walk. However the fuck you say it. I do what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not just speaking out of my head. This is why I don't accept them little coffee dates. I've had men like him go all out for me. What do I look like letting you spend $2 on me for a drink, when there's men that are literally ordering the whole menu for me to try everything? I didn't even have to ask. That's the crazy part. I didn't have to ask him for anything. When we go to the restaurant, he already had reservations. He would get the best table available. And if he couldn't get the best one at the moment, he will ask them again after we've been seated, is this table going to be available? In fact, we actually did that. He ordered so much food on the menu, the staff asked to upgrade our seats and move us to a private room, which was fat as hell, but it was fine for me. And there was only one other couple inside the room that had reservations, and I think he had proposed to his girlfriend or whatever was going on over there. But we literally had 3 tables to put all of our dishes on it. It was that crazy. Everything on the menu. And that's where I tried that gold sushi. It was crazy. And I'm like, why would you spend all this money on a girl who ain't giving you nothing? No affection, no sex, nothing. And then you just play her in the end? Like, I mean, I'm flattered that I'm cute enough for you to waste money on like that, but my brain cannot comprehend that. And to be honest, I could have kept going because he had made reservations for a date for Thanksgiving too. And out of all the stuff he did, he never flaked out on me. He always kept with the dates. If he said he was going to have a date with me on that day at that time, he was going to have a date at that day and that time. So he went all out. And it's like, not going to lie, kind of activated the gold digging hole in me. I was like, a free Thanksgiving meal. Could probably get him to buy me a new handbag. I haven't had some new Louis Vuittons in years. But my goal is not to be a gold digger. I'm trying to find a husband. But my brain just couldn't understand that. I'm like, why go through all of that just to decide you don't want me? And then to not even be the one that breaks it off. So whatever. Men are weird like that. I know it's not all of y'all, but just my luck with them at least. So yeah. I'm not going through that type of crap. But yeah, trust me, girls. Like, this is a prime example of that. I know that didn't work out, but just to like show you, like, if a dude is interested in you, he will show you with his time and with his wallet. If he can't spend no money on you, he don't have time for you, leave him. And I know most girls would not have done what I did, because I ain't even finna lie. I would understand why a girl wouldn't want to do that. Because I'm going to keep it real. I'm trying to put my ex on blast. How many girls can say that a guy they never gave they coochie to then gave you $3,000 cash? I don't know what's my fiance, my ex didn't even do that. That was more money than he gave me. And he moved my ass out of Soccer House. But he didn't even give me that much money. And he wasn't quite exactly thrilled to do that either, because it went into his graduation trip money. So yeah, but this dude, he would literally tell me that he's happy to spend his money on me. Like, he openly said that directly. So if y'all want all the details to that, sign up for Patreon, $5. But yeah, that's who that guy was. So he was a guy that I was dating from Paris. And he was a really nice guy. Like, I can't even talk crap on him. He was a really sweet guy. There were some things personality-wise that I didn't like, because I won't lie, he was a little too soft for me. I like the type of guys that'll choke you out. He wasn't. I hope my mom ain't watching this. He wasn't one of those type of guys, but I like nice guys too. But he was a little too nice. Still feeling offended. Why are you offended? Can he at least be a side piece? I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of wish he was, but see, I'm not the type of person. I can't do that. I'm crazy. If I'm dating you, it has to be just you and me. Like I can't date. Like it's hard to explain. I can date more than one guy at the same time. I've done it on Patreon, but it's not because I'm trying to play people. It's because I'm literally in the dating phase and nobody's asking my boyfriend yet. The moment that I have a committed relationship, I can't do that anymore. Like I feel wrong for doing it. And on top of that, like, I don't know, like I feel like karma or something's gonna get me. Like if I do that, then he'll do it to me. And then I know I can't handle that. So, but if I get old, then yeah, sure. So do I have to pay him back? No, but I should, and I'm going to, because I don't want that to ever be off my head, especially not here on YouTube as a YouTuber. So because I know how that's gonna work. Somebody gonna be like, oh, like Ren, she using people for their money. She got niggas buying her whatever. She trapped him type thing. So y'all can't say shit. I'm gonna pay him back. Maybe. No, I am. But I gotta get my own shit together first. Like, hey, he willingly did that. In fact, that's the crazy thing. I didn't even ask him for it. That's the part y'all really not gonna believe. I didn't ask him. I was asking him what bank would he recommend to go to get a cash card loan. And he was like, what do you need a loan for? And so I explained to him what I was doing. He was like, oh, like you shouldn't, borrow money from a bank. They're gonna give you a high interest rate, whatever. And I'm like, I don't know about you, but where I'm from, 14%. That's actually kind of low. I've paid interest as high as like 25 and 30% for some bad credit cards when I was first building my credit. That's manageable. And I only needed a couple $1,000s. That's not a lot of money. I literally was going to have this money when I got paid. But the problem was I had just started a job and I had made back and forth trips going to Osaka. And I had to move my furniture and stuff from Osaka to Tokyo. So I was in a difficult situation at the moment. But I'm not gonna lie, I played the typical game that my mom taught me, pretend like you don't need or want something that you do. So I was like, oh no, like it's okay, like I don't want to borrow your money. And I'm like, take his money around. But no, I'm just playing. And so I was like, no, like I don't want you to go to the bank. It's gonna be, too expensive. They're gonna charge you interest. Like if you take from me, like there won't be any interest, and you don't have to worry about it, whatever. And so I told him, I was like, okay, well, if I do, then I'm gonna give it back to you, but I'm gonna need some time. I explained it to him. He was, oh, like, don't worry about whatever, like it's fine. And even after he gave me that $3,000, he still took me to Odaiba. So that was the day after he had just given me $3,000 and took me out to eat for steak that same day. What man gonna do that for you? Not get sex out of it. No affection, no kissing, no holding hands, no nothing. My mind was just, this man wouldn't even see me naked. Do you know how many dudes would give up their left testicle to be in a room with me without my clothes on? This man, nope. I was at his house because I didn't have my own place at the time. Watch Patreon if you want to figure out all that type of stuff. Not gonna share it here. He wouldn't even look at me getting out the shower in his own house. You know how Japanese places are small. He was coming inside of his house and I was trying to hurry up because I didn't want him to like open up the door and see me, because you know how it is when you're early in the relationship. It's like, oh my God, I don't want anybody to see my body, knowing that I'm a full-time hoe on Instagram. But back on subject, and mind you, he don't know about my Instagram or anything like that. So anyway, what was I about to say? Yeah, I got out the shower and I had on a towel, but he like freaked out, shut his door, and waited for me to like be out of sight before he would come inside the house. And then he knocked on his own door to his own living room in his house to make sure I was dressed before he came in, and then had his back towards me. And mind you, he's older than me. So yeah, but he was a gentleman. He was nice. And he knew how to take initiative with things. Like he knew how to, like, he was never that type of guy where it's like, oh, I don't know what I want to eat. What do you want to eat? No. He'll ask you what you want. And then like, it was really cute. He was saying English. He'd be like, is it okay if I choose? So like, for example, like if he asked you what you wanted, and let's say you said shrimp, and then he's like, okay, well, you want shrimp? can I choose? What he meant by that was, can I choose the exact restaurant? So he wanted it to be a surprise for you. He didn't want to tell you all the details of where he was going to go. So like he would tell you where to meet at, and then he would take you to like some super nice restaurant. It's like, I've been to Tokyo before. I've lived here before. Where did you find this crap? Because I used to go to school, right? I used to go to school in Shinjuku. I never saw any of the places that we went to. Like, how did you find? You don't even live here. He wasn't even living there. He lived in Chiba. So I'm like, how do you know where this stuff is? So that's how you know he a sugar daddy. He didn't probably went on so many dates with all these different girls. He probably taking notes. I might be the test dummy. He was like, let me take that nigga out to this new restaurant, see how she reacts. And then he probably go take Sachiko out the next day or something. Cause yeah, I didn't get that. Like he spent so much money on me. I'm like, how do you have money to date another girl? But he must have been doing it. So because I can't tell the part. I'll save that. Sign up for Patreon. You want to know how that ended. So yeah, that's my long answer to your question. I was dating that guy, seriously. It's a gift. You didn't force anything on them. You know, that's exactly how I feel. And that's how I want to go about it. But again, I know how that goes from the YouTube side of it, though. It's not going to be seen that way. It's going to be like, sure. Like, you know, you owe him that back. He gave it to you on the condition that you're his girlfriend and you're the one who chose to stop talking to him. Like, I feel like that's how it's going to be taken. Because to be honest, yeah, I don't feel like I owe him that money back. He willingly did that. I didn't ask for it. I signed no contract saying I was giving that back to him. I should not have to. But I am grateful that he helped me because honestly, if he didn't do that, I would still be inside that share house right now because I wouldn't have had enough money for this place for another month because I can afford this. I just didn't have the money right then because I hadn't been working for like 4 months. I had to wait another month to actually get my first month's salary. And my patrons know, but I did a lot of running back and forth. I lost my visa status. There was so much drama and mess that had gone on. So, yeah. That's Sachiko. Yeah. But that's, for those of you that don't know, that's my generic Japanese girl name. I actually stole it from the anime Nana because she kept referring to that girl as being Sachiko. And then it really turned out to be a girl at the restaurant he was working at named Sachiko. That, who was it? Nobu or whoever? Was it Nobu? No, it wasn't Nobu. Was it Nobu? I think it was. Some guy that she was dating ended up actually falling for this girl that her real name really ended up being Sachiko, but she was using Sachiko as a generic name. So normally in Japan, I don't know what the female Jane Doe is, but the male version of that is Taro, is a very common name. Ah, yes. Yeah, you like Nana too. Like, yeah, Nana is, it's hard for me to say. Like, I feel like for nostalgic purposes, I always say Sailor Moon, but realistically, I really like Nana because that was like the one anime that I watched where I felt like the characters were real. And it really like made me feel like wanting to go to Japan when I was first watching it because I wasn't here at the time. And I don't know, I felt like I was in Japan, like living my experience in Japan through them or something. Like it seemed really relatable. So I like slice of life type anime. But that's the weird thing. Yes, he was a gentleman. Sounds like enough. But that's the weird thing. He had alpha male tendencies, but then he acted like a beta male at the same time. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Because, like, he was always, like, really. I talked about this on Patreon when we did a Zoom live stream. But he would act like he was afraid of me not enjoying the date. Like, it wasn't in a "are you enjoying everything" type way, but, like, where he would constantly ask and be afraid of me saying, like, no to something. Like, "Oh, my God, this food is disgusting." And it's like, it's not even, like, even if I don't like it. Like, it took me out for Italian food, and I actually don't like Italian food. And so he, like, freaked out over it. And so it's like, it's fine. Just because something isn't your favorite doesn't mean you can't eat it. I need to eat something else besides just steak every day. So it's not good for my toilet. But yeah. Could you give him another chance? He seems nice. Could you see yourself with him? Want to see you happy? Oh, thank you very much. But I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to explain. I honestly did authentically like being with him. I mean, he spoiled the crap. He treated me like I was his wife and didn't even want anything in return. But I feel like I lost trust with him. And the main reason being is I can't say. I have to say that for Patreon, but basically, I was given a reason to not trust that he wasn't a cheater. I had my suspicions, and again, like if my goal is just like Kevin Samuel style, where I just want this high value man, because I forgot to mention that part to you guys. As you can tell, he wasn't broke. He actually had a really high paying IT job, and he worked from home, so he had super flexible hours. But there were other issues. The guy was a slob. His place was like it was like hoarder style disgusting, but it wasn't filled like a hoarder place would be. But ask my patrons, you would not want to live in that type of environment. But the good thing is, at least I know he had enough money to move out of there. So I just didn't get it. Part of me feels like I should have held on to him. But then the other part is like, if I were to take the money aside and put what he did onto someone else, I probably would walk away from it after I saw or discovered the things that I think I kind of saw. I caught him in a couple of lies about some things, basically. And there were some weird things that he was doing that went against my rules for F-boys. And when I'm ever suspicious about something, I'm normally right. He would only have dates with me on weekdays 99% of the time. And that didn't seem right at first. And I said that at the very beginning when I first started seeing him on Patreon. And it became very clear to me that I was right, that he is clearly seeing somebody else. And so he has the weekend reserved. But he wasn't married. That was the weird part, because I stayed at his house and there was nobody there. No sign of a woman. Trust me, there was no sign of a woman there. My patrons can back that part up. But he was clearly messing around with somebody else. Like, he said to me that he was happy to spend his money on me, and trust me, he meant that. Not just me though, but like he just wanted to spend his money. His thing was he had some sort of like fetish. I think he really just got off on being seen around Tokyo with hot girls and just wasting money on them. Like that was his thing. That was his kink. So yeah, I I want to, because of course I want to get married, but I don't want to get married to somebody that doesn't truly love me exclusively. I mean, you ain't got to be blind. I don't expect for my man to pretend like there ain't better looking girls than me or that he doesn't have other options, but you ain't finna treat me like I'm optional either. I'd rather be single then. So, yeah. I figure you're this type of person, guys, like to spoil no strings attached sometimes. You're just not. But that's the part that I don't get. Like, maybe I don't understand men as well as I thought I did. I get it if a guy is spending money on you in exchange for like sex or some sort of intimacy. But this dude didn't even want to sit next to me. I went to karaoke with him and I came back from the bathroom, not even thinking, I'm just sitting down next to him. Apparently, I moved over closer than I previously would. This dude almost had like a nosebleed, like Sanji One Piece style. And I'm thinking, like, dude, like, relax. Sorry, let me move over. Oh, no. It's fine. It's fine. It's just, oh, like, you're so cute and you're so close to me. Like, he was just like, oh, okay. Nothing out of it. I don't get it. So, yeah, just weird. Based on what you say about most of the guys you date, I feel like Japanese people all cap about how clean they are. Man, like I really wish you all could see some of the stuff that I've seen, because I feel like what's really happened here is that people are so used to dealing with germs, their immune system is strong. Because between not having soap here and the fact that there's no hot water here, and the fact that there's a lot of dirty things that people commonly do here, from picking their nose to digging in their ear to sometimes even scratching their butt, bathroom, even in public, using a public restroom without washing your hands. Everybody's gone to the bathroom without washing their hands. Let's be honest here. But regularly, and even nowadays with COVID, who would want to take that chance? So very common stuff. And it seems like a lot of the time, like with men, because trust me, I dated everybody here. I know. I mean it. A lot of men here are slobs. Like, now you see why they want to have a housewife. They do not clean. They do not cook. they literally like don't clean anything. And it's really crazy that I feel like a lot of people don't get it. If you're not cleaning, like sweeping, mopping your floor, it's going to get dirty. Like, I don't understand why people don't get that. Like a lot of people, it seems like they think because they take off their shoes at the entrance that their floor is clean. And it's like, that's not enough. And house shoes, even too, like those need to be washed. I've never met like a single guy that has like a clean floor, washes their house shoes. There's not 10 layers of dust everywhere. Like, even like if their house seems mostly clean, you'll see that they don't dust their stuff. They have the same old bottle of soap that's been sitting around for God knows how many years since they moved in. I dated another guy that was making more money than that dude that took me to Odaiba in my latest vlog. And his bathroom literally smelled like a porta potty. And that was after he cleaned it. It literally reeked of urine. It's like, do you come home drunk every day and just piss on the walls or something? Like, how? I don't get that. So I literally do not get it. So there's a lot of like really dirty, nasty dudes here. Like they literally need to have a girlfriend, wife, something. So I feel old. I know. Are you talking about the K-pop group, Twice? That's the only Twice that I can think of. I don't know if that's an anime. I'm old. Sorry, I'm just like realizing that I'm missing all their comments. People can be so sneaky, really. A sugar daddy would know. Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Like I wanted a sugar daddy when I wasn't even old enough to be thinking like that. Like when I was a teenager, like underage. And yeah, shows you how little my parents knew about me. Let's just say that when I was 15 years old, I had a few opportunities to do some inappropriate things with people that should not have even been in contact with me. And I thought that I was so grown and that it was okay because I was so mature for my age and that these men saw that in me. Nope. These were creepy men that were P words and should have been behind bars. And for me, I was just poor and I needed things and shall I say I wanted things. And I thought to do whatever I could to get them. And something like scared me out of like not doing that. Thank God I backed out of it. But yeah, that's what pretty much made me do. That's like, oh my God, like I want these things, but I don't want to have to do anything to get them. But yeah, this was that guy, and he's young. It's a dream come true. Normally, like if you meet a guy like that, he gonna at least be like on his deathbed or something, like 80, 90 years old. Nope, not even 30 yet. He's 28. So I should post this phone number for y'all. So yep. Very nice, but smell like booty. Favorite food from Japan. My answer to it is that changes all the time. It depends on when you ask me. I feel like as of late, excuse me, my voice. I feel like as of late, like my favorite food has been yakiniku, which is a generic answer because that's like saying every meat in existence. But I guess I'd say yakiniku. Second to that, if I have to be more specific, maybe it used to be tempura, but I don't really like that so much anymore. Like, I don't know. Yakiniku is all that comes to mind. I guess I would say ramen, but like good ramen. Like that's one thing that you have to understand. Like being in Japan, every ramen shop is very different. Like no two are alike. If you find good ramen, you need to write down that place name, save it in your phone, Google Maps. There's a really good ramen restaurant. I can't remember the name of it. It's in Kanda, but I have it saved in my phone. I went there on a date with that guy with the bathroom that smelled like urine. Well, I mean, that sounds like basically when I say smell like urine, I mean like porta potty style, like homeless people use this restroom on a regular basis type smell, not a somebody just peed in here type thing. But it was the best ramen I think I've ever had in Japan. Like everything was so good, like the pork cutlet inside of it and the noodles, the broth, like it was just perfect. So, and it's a chain restaurant, which was surprising, but there's some really nasty ramen places here too. So, but yeah, never tell men that because they'll always take you there and then try to fuck you afterwards. They'll be like, "Oh, you like ramen? Good. I'm going to pay $5 to fuck you." So, ramen dates are after the third date. Then I'll think about it. Gotta pretend like I don't like that type of stuff. Oh, okay, from K-pop, Twice. I don't even know who Sana is. Like, I forgot all the names and everything. Like, it just felt so weird even seeing BTS like in the US. It's like, wow, they're like mainstream now. Because like even when I like got into them, they were like starting to get there, but they weren't popular in the US. It's just they were becoming popular in Korea. But now they're like the face of K-pop, and even like Twice, like I hear their music around here, but to my knowledge, Twice is newer than BTS, or maybe I'm wrong about that. Is it BTS? I keep wanting to say BST. So, yes, BTS. That's right. How much is your Patreon? It's $5 USD. Oh, somebody already answered. Thank you. Oh, and it is BTS. Okay, now they're coming in faster. Do Japanese men want to dress like Korean guys? Oh, y'all trying to start a war. You're about to get me in trouble. I feel like yes. I mean, it depends on the person. Like normally the people here that you see like wearing I consider them all to be street style like fashion because really a lot of the Korean fashion is basically black street fashion that's classified as Korean because it's kind of like a cross between gothic fashion and black street fashion, in my opinion. You see a lot of that here. But I wouldn't quite exactly say it's popular per se. Like you normally see it in like the major cities like Tokyo and Osaka and like their downtown shopping areas. Like every city in Japan, especially the big cities, I feel like they all have I see as a black area, which is which is where you have like the Asian people that want to be black or like at least dress and act like it. Like where you have the Japanese girls that have micro braids and the Japanese guys that have dreadlocks and French braids and crap like oh excuse me cornrows. Y'all ain't hear me say that. I didn't say French braids, but back on subject. Yeah, where you see stuff like that, and normally, like you'll see people wearing, like the Nike shoes, the high tops, the snapbacks, things like that. So it depends on the person. Like some of them really like Korean fashion, some of them really like American fashion, etc. But you don't normally see people dress that way, or even the way that they necessarily like, because it's also seen as how can I say it kind of shows, I guess, the class of person that you are, so to speak. So, for example, this is something that has been interesting for me in Japan, but I guess it's the same way in the US, but I didn't get to stay there long enough as an adult in the US. So I don't have any experience with this. But what I'm getting at is, after I rambled on for that, um, you can normally tell what type of job somebody has based off how they're dressed. It's the truth. Now, I'm misleading. I dress like a bum every day. You would not think that I'm employed. But for most people, you can generally tell what they're doing based on how they're dressed. And normally, even if a guy is really into something, like you might be dating somebody and you're like, wait, like you listen to hip hop music? And like it's this super like clean, like, I don't know. How do you explain it? I can't think of the word to use. Like perfectly tailored, ironed out, dry clean suit and tie type of guy. And it's like, you can break dance, really? Like people don't like to look like their hobbies and their interests. And I feel like that has a lot to do with culture here, trying to look like everyone else and look like you have money. Like even hobbies wise, like salarymen, especially when they're younger, everybody pretends like they love golf. They love drinking beer. And it's like, do you really like this, or are you doing it because everyone else associates this with having class and money? So I feel like fashion is the same way. Like a lot of Japanese people pretend like they don't like Korean stuff or even Chinese stuff. And it's really because of the racism that goes on here amongst Asians. As foreigners, we constantly talk about, what it's like being black or white people problems, etc. here. But the real beef in Japan is with Asians. I said that before on my channel. I made a whole video about that, but they ain't worried about y'all. They worried about each other. They get on each other all the time. So it's a lot of racist crap that goes on towards Korean and Chinese people here. So I feel like a lot of people that really do like K-pop or that really do like Korean fashion, they pretend like they don't have any interest in it, or they don't like it, or they're annoyed with it, when really it's like, now you a damn, everybody watching this, you are a liar if you say you don't like K-pop. There is at least one K-pop song that you really like. And if you think you don't like one, you haven't listened to K-pop music. And it's coming from me. Like, I don't even listen to K-pop like that anymore. So I find myself inside the mall every once in a while, and I'm like, oh my God, this song is so good. And I got to open up Shazam so I can save the song for later, because I don't understand shit they saying. But I'm like, whatever she's singing about, I understand her. So how do Japanese people feel about soul food? Are you talking about American soul food? If that's the case, it depends on what it is. In my experience, some of the like staple food items people don't like. Like, for example, people here do not like greens. So like greens are not going to be popular. Cornbread, no. Grits, no. You're always going to find somebody that likes these things, but generally the foods they do like, of course, are going to be things like fried chicken, mac and cheese. They like gumbo. They'll eat those things, and like catfish, but most of them don't really understand what soul food is, and their experience with it, if they've even tried it, hasn't been good. But the people that I have personally been friends with or dated that I've had like try those things, they've liked those things off of the menu and didn't like the other things. So keep in mind that there's limitations to what you can get here in Japan. So most people haven't tried everything that soul food has to offer. So yeah. Dang, why's my phone blowing up? You're acting like I'm important. Let's see. And now my notifications aren't working. Okay. Just F-boys, my mom, and other crap. But let's see. Do you have any plans to travel outside of Japan, like to nearby countries? Yeah, like actually, I really wanted to go to a lot of different places that got ruined during this whole pandemic. I talked about this a little bit on Patreon. I did a Zoom live stream there, but I really want to go to Korea. I wanted to go there for my 25th birthday, but of course things didn't get better. So yeah, that didn't work out. What else? I wanted to go to Turkey, but honestly, I kind of feel afraid to go there now because I've seen some crazy stuff happening there. I really want to go to every country, but like the countries that are really on my list, like high up on my list, I really want to go to Sweden. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Italy. I really want to go to Africa, but I don't know where in Africa I really want to go. Like the country that I really wanted to go to the most is really Ivory Coast, because I can't remember the exact place, but there's a specific place there where they have some sort of like tour where they like explain everything to you. Like I want to understand, like, I don't know how to explain it, like slave trading and things like that, where like they have some sort of like, not an architectural tour, that's not the right word to use, but you know what I mean? So I wanted to do something like that. I like understanding history. And I feel like it's something powerful about seeing where you came from and like seeing where everything started, so to speak. So, but then it sounds really bad and y'all gonna kill me, especially for anybody watching this from Africa. I've been watching too much YouTube. I'm afraid of accidentally doing something illegal or somebody smuggling drugs in my bag and ending up stuck in prison there. So I'm like afraid of like going to prison like in Africa. If that sounds so bad, but I'm just being honest. Okay, let me change the subject for y'all get on me. But I'm keeping it real. I want to go there. So yeah. I really always wanted to go to South America. I used to actually study Spanish a lot. I've been studying Spanish since I was 8 years old, and I used to know more Spanish than I knew Japanese. But now that's not true anymore. Yeah, I really wanted to go to Colombia, but I feel like my interest has changed after watching the Olympics, and I was like I really would like to go to Brazil. And I actually made a former friend here that had been to Brazil for a long time, and that kind of inspired me too. After coming to Japan, I started taking samba dance classes, and that made me also interested in that too. So yeah. Let's see. But yeah, I don't know when I'll ever do any of that stuff. So I would like to do it sometime this year, next year, because I am a teacher. I get set vacation time without even having to use my own extra days. But the problem is, like, I don't want to go by myself. And now everything's so much more complicated with this whole pandemic situation. Like, it's kind of scary. I don't even want to go back to my home country because it's like if you leave Japan, they can decide at any time they're not going to let foreigners come back in. So, and that happened to some people before. Okay, where in Japan have you been to before? Piggybacking off of the question above, any places you want to go within Japan? I have been to Sendai. I've been to all of the close areas within the Tokyo region. So that means like Yokohama, Saitama, I've been there, Chiba, been there. I think I might have been to Gunma, I can't remember. Yeah. Of course, Kansai area, I have been to Kobe, Osaka, Kyoto. I've also lived in all three places. And that's pretty much it. I haven't done a lot of exploration here. So, of course, I've passed by other places like road stop type things and gone on trips. And of course, like being more specific, like for example, Kyoto. When people say they've been to Kyoto, they normally mean the downtown area where they have like the little shrine type stuff and street food. But I've been to both, like the real Kyoto, where it's like up in the mountains, no Wi-Fi, no street lights, birds are not afraid of cars, and that is an experience to have, might I add. I went all the way. What was it called, Miyama or something, Kyoto. It's so rural there. The birds are not afraid of cars. I was driving with my ex, and he literally had to like honk his horn, and that wasn't even working. Like they were just like, "The fuck you gonna do? Hit us with your car?" Like they did not care. They just sat there in the street. So that was like a really weird thing. And mind you, that this is like a mountain that you're driving up, where it's a bunch of curves and there's no gate. So you gotta have some trust. I was stupid for doing that. You gotta have some real trust, because man, you get into an argument with your boyfriend, girlfriend, you're gonna be missing. So you cannot make any mistakes in those mountains, because your car go over that edge, you are dead. There's no lights, nobody's gonna find you, nobody will know where you fell. Why am I thinking like this? I don't know. But yeah. What else? Ah, yes, the controversial questions. What do you think about Japanese girls and guys wearing braids? I talked about this before. First, I want to start off by saying I'm a nigga, but I do not speak on behalf of the Black community, okay? This is my opinion, my stance, what I'm okay with. What I am okay with does not mean that everybody else is okay with that. So, yeah. I personally, I feel like a lot of people have taken the whole idea of cultural appropriation out of hand and don't seem to really understand what it is. And I feel like the definition of it has also changed with time too. I feel like because the term is overused, people have become desensitized to it. Sorry, hair. And thus, it's not taken as seriously when there are real issues. For me, I don't care about somebody wearing braids or dreads or anything else, whether they are a guy or a girl. As long as you're not wearing it in a way for it to be disrespectful, and you have some sort of understanding towards where this hairstyle came from or what the purpose is in this, and you're respectful towards my race, my culture, my whatever, then I do not mind. I don't believe that most people that wear braids or, wear black fashion or whatever, their intention is to be racist. I don't even believe it should be taken that way. I don't believe it's offensive at all. Not even a matter of context or being taken the wrong way, but rather I think a lot of people are ignorant of what cultural appropriation is. My own opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong. In fact, I've actually met several Japanese people that have both braids and dreads, including a Japanese girl. I've met people that wish they were Black. I've seen it all. And I can tell you that out of all of these people, they probably know more about Black people than you do. And I'm not saying that with, exaggeration. I really mean that. So not to say that people should just get an instant pass because they know about Black history, but rather the whole purpose and thing about appropriation was supposed to be a matter of people misrepresenting a culture being degrading or demeaning towards you. For example, like some of y'all didn't get to grow up with this, which you should be thankful for. But do y'all remember back in the day when people used to like make fun of Native Americans, like in jokes and stuff, and like skits and Halloween costumes and the like crap like that? It's like, man, like imagine somebody tried doing that nowadays. Like I shouldn't have even done that on this YouTube stream. Y'all gonna come for me for that. So just seeing like how times have changed, that type of stuff, that's appropriating. That's being offensive. That's racist. But somebody that says, wow, like, I think African hair is cool. I want to have braids. I want to be cool. Those people in the music video, y'all not gonna like this. But to me, that's no different than the weeboos that go around trying to look like Japanese girls or that want to wear a school uniform or whatever. So I like that stuff too. So I'm a weeb. So it's like, I would be hypocritical. But forget about me, what I'm doing aside, somebody admiring my culture, somebody liking, what's going on with the fashion and culture and slang and language, whatever, as long as you are not being insulting and offensive towards my people, you're being respectful and you've taken the time to research, understand, learn what you're doing, what you're wearing, I'm not offended by it at all. In fact, I'm flattered by it. Like, wow, you like our hair that much. You want your hair to look like ours type thing is how I see it. So not all Black people are going to agree with this. I'm telling you my own 2 cents. I don't make up the rules, but I can be my own person, tell you how I feel towards it. And I swear I'm not just saying it because I'm in Japan. I feel this way about white people doing it too. I don't care if you are wearing braids or dreads or whatever you have going on, as long as you're not running around being insulting, offensive, and as long as you're not, holding a double standard. It's okay for you to wear that hairstyle, but if a Black woman does it, then it's ghetto. Or if a Black man does it, it's not professional type thing. So that's my only thing. You don't have to be some sort of scholar or expert and be able to tell me what year were the first dreads worn and how many dreads should you have swooped over to the left side in order to wear this hairstyle correctly. Like, I don't care about that type of crap. I feel like they're not just a matter of there being bigger problems in the world, but rather I feel like the people that do that y'all gonna kill me. I'm not trying to be a sympathizer, but I'm being honest. I feel like they're misunderstood. Most people that are doing that stuff, they're not trying to pretend to be Black, but rather they really just admire our culture. They think it looks cool. They want to be and look like us, basically. So they're interested in our fashion and culture. Like, think about for a lot of you guys, you won't admit it, but the reason why you came across my channel is you like K-pop, you like anime. And if you're like most people, at some point you saw yourself watching anime and you're like, oh my God, their clothes are so cool. I want to look like that. Or, oh my God, these guys inside, this music video and these girls, their fashion is so cooler. Their hair looks so cool. And you wanted to style your hair, do your makeup, dress like them. Are you making fun of and mocking Asians? No, you just like their style is a rip from ours, really, but we'll give them their credit. Let's pretend like it's theirs. Are you doing it to mock and insult them? No, you just really admire it. You think it looks cool. You think it's cute, it's sexy. You wanna look like them. You like their craft. You like their art. You like their media. You like their movies. You like their music. You like their games. Whatever the case is, you admire their work. I feel like that's the same case with most stuff with Black people. I don't care what your favorite genre of music is. You are a liar if you tell me you can't name a single R&B or hip hop song that you love. But you ain't got to be a liar to say that you ain't like country music. But I won't lie. I actually have some country music on my phone. Some of them little, country songs pretty good. And I ain't talking about that little Nas type stuff. I mean, like, there's legitimately. Have you ever heard of what's her name? Natasha or Natalia Betting? I can't remember her name. I forgot her name. Anyway, the song is called "Wrong Impression." It's a good song. So you can listen to more than just Miley Cyrus Party in the USA type stuff. There's legitimately good country music out there, but I feel like things like R&B music, like that's universal. Like everybody can find an R&B song they're gonna like. So it's impossible to look at a Black music video, Black Instagram pages, and not be like, wow, like these hairstyles are cool. Look at all these colors and look at how fun these videos are. I want to look like those people. I totally understand that. And like I said, the way that I see it, I'm flattered and honored by it. I literally see people where they're dressed wearing my culture, fashion, whatever, and their eyes seem to light up when they see a real Black person. Like, I don't mind that. I ain't trying to be a token, don't get me wrong, but I'm not offended by somebody admiring, liking, wanting to partake in my culture. I don't have the ability to speak on behalf of other Black people. So that's for you to decide if you want to take offense to it or buy it or whatever. But for me, I'm not offended by it. I understand it. So, yeah. Okay, Can you recommend a good ramen place and any good restaurant to eat at? Yeah, I can't remember the name of it though. Let me see if I can find it. Um, I'm probably not gonna find it. There's one really good ramen place, like I said, in Kanda, the best ramen I've had in all of Japan. So, which by the way, in my opinion, Tokyo makes better ramen than every other city here. Like, I thought that I liked Hokkaido ramen the best, like miso ramen, but it varies so much depending on where you go. And the good thing about Tokyo is like every ramen in Japan exists in a restaurant in Tokyo, but you cannot go to any city in Japan and find ramen from other cities, if you get what I mean. So it's like the best of both worlds. So you can always find the specific kind of ramen that you like. So yeah. Mm. I'm trying to look through Uber Eats. I order food from here so often, I'm probably never gonna find it. But I'll try to get back to you on that if you can remind me. Anything else? So it was an amazing clubbing scene, I've heard. SA. My brain doesn't work. What is SA? South Africa? What is SA? I don't know. From what I've seen, haven't been there myself though. Why do you want to travel to Germany and Sweden? Actually, a couple of different reasons. So, two things. One, ancestry DNA. My goal was to try to go to every country that there was some DNA from. And two, well, my last name is Bolin, which is German. And there's a lot of German ancestry on my dad's side. But after coming to Japan, I've actually met a good deal of people that are from both of these countries. And so I was really curious about going to their country, seeing what it's like there. Like for me, and that's why I wanted to go to Turkey too. Like I never really thought about going to any of these places. Like for me, going to Japan was like the end of the road for me. There and then maybe Colombia. I normally gain interest in going to another country after I've met somebody from there and I like the person. And then I think, I'd like to meet more people from your country, or I want to see what culture is like where you're from, type of thing. So really, I would like to go to every country except for North Korea. But that's the reason why those two places in particular. I had a really good friend here. I used to say Denmark, but that was from Denmark. And she was friends with this guy that was from Sweden. And I had another friend at a share house that was from Germany. And he's somebody that really helped me with, I guess, learning Japanese and, really memorizing just basic stuff like hiragana, katakana, and gaining confidence with like ordering food like at a restaurant. Because I used to be really, really nervous, even when I was like starting to learn Japanese. And I'm still not the best speaker, trust me. But I felt really afraid of making mistakes. And I said this in a video before, but he gave me such straightforward common sense advice where he was like, you're not going to get better unless you actually talk. And when you're speaking to Japanese people, like when you make a mistake, the worst they're going to do is laugh and they're going to correct you. And by them laughing at you, you're going to feel embarrassed, not want to make that mistake again. So you're going to memorize it much better. And I was like, I never thought about that. That is true. And I always give this example. I even give it to my English students and they laugh at it. It's a good icebreaker. I always tell them about how I learned how to order food, not from going to college in Japan, but from hanging out with another foreign friend of mine. And I thought that you're supposed to say "ima de" when you're done with your food, when you're done ordering. I didn't know it's "ijo de." So I used to say "ima de." And I finally had a guy, I thought they were, just smiling and, cute foreigner type thing. No. They were laughing at me because I was retarded. Excuse my language, but just keeping it real. And so I was like, oh, I've been saying the wrong thing all this time because nobody corrected me. But as soon as that guy laughed at me and told me what to say properly, I remembered it. I never said "imade" ever again. It was right. So that's just one example of many. Like you go through an embarrassing situation, and by making that mistake and somebody correcting you, you remember it. So yeah. Would you ever go to Okinawa? The infamous Black people question. Hold on. I actually don't want to go to Okinawa. I'm sorry. And there's several different reasons why. I do not like hot climates. I don't know why I'm in Japan, but that's because I authentically like Japanese things and not their weather. I'm definitely not here for the tropical weather. I hate summertime. I hate summertime in every country, and I really hate it here in Japan. too humid, too hot. I know that Okinawa is supposed to be less humid, so they claim, but I don't like the sun. Okay? I hate it. And it really makes me angry that Japanese people think even some white people probably say this to me too, but they think that because I'm black, that like I can handle the hot weather better. And it's like, no. In fact, I blame that little 20% white DNA. I blame that for my hate summer gene because I hate summertime. I sweat so easily. I get angry. Ask all of my ex-boyfriends. I get abusive when I'm hot. I do not. In fact, that little fan that I got when I made that video with like my summer must-haves, that was a gift from my ex-boyfriend because he knew that I was a little psychotic. I would get angry when I would get hot. Like something that I would normally be like, oh, like no, it's okay. We can do that later. I would, you made me walk all the way over here just so we can do this. And I had to think, I was like, damn, my girl, like that ain't his fault. He can't control the weather. And I had to start apologizing. So yeah, I can't do summer. I also can't swim, by the way. So that type of stuff like doesn't interest me. And plus, like for Japanese people, Okinawa is, I hate to say this because I'm sorry for anyone watching this, but Okinawa is really just a place where the people treat like how, let's say how a lot of white guys treat Thailand and like certain places in China. It's a pump and dump type of place. It's a place that people go to have sex with escorts and prostitutes and run back home. It's a little vacation paradise. There's a lot of people that have monopolized housing out there that are renting it out to tourists and visitors, etc. So the real Okinawa is a little bit of a slum-like area, from what I've heard. I ain't never been there myself. It's super popular with foreigners here, though, just as it is with Japanese people, but it just ain't my cup of tea. I've heard that they had a lot of good American restaurants there, but yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get to try it. My voice is gone. I've been talking so much. Y'all might need to get tested for COVID after this live stream because a lot more coughing finna start happening. Maybe like Hokkaido. Yeah, maybe. Gosh, sorry. But actually, my ex was from Hokkaido, but I never went there. I wanted to go. But not because of him. I like cold climate. But Sendai was a place that I really liked for that reason. It reminded me of Chicago, where it had all 4 seasons, but it was cooler during those 4 seasons than other places. So, yeah. But anything else? Let me look at my phone. I said this before on Patreon, but man, I'm still trying to make that video that I told you guys about showing you all the messages that I get, like my DMs. But I'm trying to figure out how to go about doing it because it's so easy to get strikes like on YouTube and Instagram. People are so sensitive nowadays. Because like my goal isn't to bully people per se, but rather, how can I say, I want to show what people are messaging me, but I feel like it's too boring of a video if I'm just sitting there and like reading my phone. Like I want you to be able to see the person. But I don't know if I can do that or if I should do that. So yeah. And then I have too many messages. Like every day I think that I have enough. I get more creepy messages from guys. And it's like, nah, I gotta put this one in the video too. So yeah. I'm gonna have to make like a 6-part video. So I'll probably, and to answer back to that old question, I'll probably go to Okinawa someday just so that I went there. So maybe within a year or two, maybe, I don't know. But let me stop lying if I'm being a year or two. Whenever I get married, if my partner wants to go there, because I'm not going there on my own. I've been saying. So sorry, might happen again. Keep listening to me. But yeah, like for me, it's really hard because like I'm trying not to get sick. So this is like really bad to do here, but I do it anyway. I sleep with my heat on because I got pneumonia here a few years ago from my ex-boyfriend being a cheapskate and not having the heat on. And I got super, super sick. And it turned into pneumonia from being sick and, not being treated properly. So I was like, nope, never again. From now on, if it's cold, I love the cold weather, but that heat is going on. I'm not going to the hospital and going through the crap. I literally felt like I was going to die and I gave up on living. I've never felt so sick in my life. And I imagine that must be what it's like to have COVID because I had everything. It felt like I couldn't breathe. I had no interest in eating food. And I'm fat. Like, you know things messed up for me when I don't want to eat. Because even when I'm sick, I eat food. So my appetite doesn't change. So yeah, that was like the worst period of being sick I've ever had. It's unimaginable, like nothing else. So I had mycoplasma pneumonia. So yeah, anyway, by sleeping with the heat on and being inside of a 2x2 apartment, it dries out the air. So you always have like a dry throat, like your voice is scratchy for a while when you get up. And then of course, doesn't help having a 2 hour plus live stream and talking nonstop. So that's also adding to my voice. Do you like matcha flavor? It's kind of weird to explain. I love green tea. In fact, can I even grab it? Yeah, like I drink like a 2 liter of this maybe every couple of days. I drink too much green tea, but I don't like green tea flavored things. So, for example, were you the one that asked about Kit Kats? Yeah, 2 people. So, what's your favorite Kit Kat flavor? I don't like Kit Kats, and Japanese people don't either. That is a touristy food. So, it's just like Pocky. Like, you never see a Japanese person going to the store and buying Kit Kats. Like, they buy that crap for like foreigners when they go visit the US because I know that you guys are crazy about them. So, there's always somebody that likes something, but Kit Kats you commonly see like at the little rest stop area places, whatever you call those places off the side of the expressway, whatever. But yeah, they're not a normal thing. And like the crazy flavored kinds, you don't normally see at the store here. So like if you go to the convenience store or grocery store, they normally only have like either they have the cheesecake flavored ones, the matcha or green tea, and they have regular Kit Kats are normally the only 3 options that you have. And normally it's just green tea or regular Kit Kat. So, and again, you pretty much never see people buying either of them. So, yeah. I'm grateful for the gift, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy this myself. This chocolate is definitely not worth the money. It's okay though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am ready to like wrap this up and stop. But I don't even know what I want to do next. I'll probably stay here. I'll round it off to 3 hours. So I'll keep going for like another 30, 40 minutes. Y'all can leave when y'all ready to, because I'm gonna save this video and I'll upload it eventually. So you don't have to be here for the full time. My feelings will not be hurt. Lately, there was a trend of Black girls going to hair salons in like China, Korea, and Japan. You ever? Absolutely not. Well, let me not say that. There are some people here that really know how to do Black hair, especially in Osaka for some strange reason. But that's another weird thing that I noticed when I went there. For some reason, Black people like gravitate to Osaka. I don't know why. But the weird thing is, I know there's way more Black people here in Tokyo, but it seems like the Black community is closer in Osaka. At least that's what I got out of it. Not just Osaka, but like the whole Kansai area, period, but especially Osaka. So this is my controversial opinion. I feel, oh, thank you. No, I'm gonna stay and listen. Thank you. But I feel like a lot of, don't hate me for this, but I'm just being honest. I feel like a lot of Black people just like going to places and doing things just to stir the pot type thing and have something to complain about. Like, how could you expect Asian people who have never even seen a Black person in real life to know how to do your hair? And I can even be honest with myself. I've played around in one of my friends' head that had 4-type hair. And when I did it back in the US, keeping it honest, not gonna lie, I felt lost. I was like, dang, you got to deal with this every day. Like, I thought I had a hard time with my hair. I had some pink hair lotion, and her hair was real. Her hair was longer than these extensions, her natural hair. I had a bottle of that like lustrous pink lotion, put it in my hair, and I think, oh, I'm going to do her hair. Like, dang, this girl don't ever have her hair, brushed properly. No, no, no. I was just ignorant. I was 12 and ignorant. That was the only time I ever touched somebody's hair that had 4-type hair. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And then I understood, oh, now I understand porosity when I got older. It just sat on her head. And I'm like, it doesn't absorb itself. Like, I can't relate to that. When I wash my hair, it dries within an hour. Like, I don't have that same struggle. Like, for me, the hardest part is taking the time to like section my hair to straighten it. Not a matter of waiting for it to dry and detangle. I have to go through all of that crap. I can run my fingers through my hair, even with it being curly. So, yeah. Even with that being said, somebody that has super straight, fine hair, how can I expect them to know how to take care of my hair? And there's people that have coarser hair than I do. How can you expect them to know how to, care for your hair? So for me, I feel like you're doing two things. One, you're setting them up so you can talk crap about them for doing a bad job with your hair, which is understandably going to happen. Two, I feel like these places are overpriced. In Japan, if you think you're paying too much for them to do your hair in the US or wherever you're from, come to Japan. A simple haircut that you pay like $10, $13 for in the US, you finna pay a minimum of $50 to Sachiko because she got to make her money. They're going to make you pay for it. And the crazy thing is, it seems like people get their hair done more often here than they do in the US. So it's like, are y'all like filthy rich or something? Where y'all get this money from to pay for that? So I chalk it up to the fact that they pay their workers an actual livable wage. Because here in Japan, you can work at a cafe and have your own apartment, like how my ex-boyfriend did when he was in college. I ain't never met no American, not on welfare, that had their own place working at McDonald's or Starbucks or something. It just doesn't happen unless you're a manager. But especially not in no major city. You ain't finna be living downtown or even anywhere near there working a minimum wage job. But in Japan, you can do that. So yeah, I might consider it someday, like if I know the person specializes in black hair, because there are some places here, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the braids thing like that. There are people here that really just love black hair and black hairstyles, and they like love hip hop culture, and like the staff all have braids themselves, and they're wearing dreads, and they specialize in doing like African braids, like things like that. It's like, how do these people learn how to do that? But for Japan, they do a good job, I feel. So I've never done it myself. And yeah, for that reason, I would consider it if it were one of those type of places, but I'm not going to let Sachiko just play in my head because all they're going to be doing is taking pictures of my shit and be like, oh my God, like, look, the brush is floating in her head. Like, that's how they're going to take it. They're not going to know what they're doing with my hair. So I'm wasting their time. I'm going to be bald headed by the time I get out that chair because they're going to have ripped out all my hair. They don't understand black hair. And I understand that. I don't expect them to. So for that reason, long story short, yes, maybe I'll do it someday, but it's not going to be for the purpose of clowning them. Like I've watched other people's videos and it seems like their purpose of making the video was to show how bad of a job they're doing their hair. And it's like, well, think about yourself. If you were never shown or taught how to do white people hair, you wouldn't know what you're doing either. Because in fact, I could say for myself, when I was a teenager, it was the first time that I learned that white people don't put oil in their hair. Normally do not. And when they do, they rinse it out. So if I were to, have a white kid back then, I would have been slapping their head with softy hair grease and trying to gel down their edges and whatnot. I wouldn't have known what I was doing. So it's the same thing for them. They don't know what they're doing with your hair. Like in the US, like at least, it's more mixed. There's more cultures there. And when you go to beauty school, a lot of the time you've had some sort of introduction experience with dealing with black hair to some extent. So you know of it. And at least there's information out there for you. In Japan, what is the likelihood of you having a black person coming into your shop and sitting in your chair? Slim to none. So why would you bother to study that? So I can't get mad at them for not knowing that. So yeah, basically, they're not worth the money for the bad job they're going to do. Two, they're not going to know what they're doing with my hair. So I'm wasting my time. I'm going to have to constantly direct them, say, no, don't pull the comb through my hair. Start and get my roots. You need to work from the bottom, work your way up. My hair needs to be wet for you to do this. Don't do that while it's dry. No, you can't use that. Yes, turn the heat up more. It's too much to explain to them. And plus, I feel like the only way they would really know how to do black hair even semi-okay is if you have a relaxer in your head. So, yeah. I'd consider it because I thought about doing that for a video myself, but my goal is not to humiliate them and clown them for doing a bad job. And I also don't want to be an experiment for them either, because for them, it's also fun because think about it. They'll never have another one of you probably come to their place ever again. It's a one-time thing. And they're going to be telling everybody. They're going to be like, look, I had a nigga coming to my place and she had afro hair. I didn't know what I was doing. That brush got stuck in her hair like 6 times. She broke all of my combs. They're going to have a field telling all their stories about you. So I'm not trying to be a science experiment. Yeah. So yeah, any more questions? Because I don't know what to talk about anymore. I feel like I'm missing something important on my phone. Important. But I'm too lazy to be reading stuff from two different places. I forgot it was my birthday. Oh, that scared me. My tea bottle is behind it. My empty one. I should just put it there. But these candies just taste so weird. I shouldn't be complaining. It was free. Being an adult sucks because it's like, wow, like I can do anything I want to do, but then you don't have the money or time for it. And like now, like I could have gone and bought myself something to eat, but then it's like, you have bills and responsibilities for next month. You shouldn't waste money. So, was it Grubhub? I'm talking about are you talking about what I was just saying? I'm talking about the candy that my job pet gave me. So, earthquake's really bad in Japan. No, that's actually something that really surprised me. I should make a video on that. They happen here all the time. And this sounds so crazy, but you will get used to it. It literally gets to the point where you're like, oh, there's an earthquake happening. And like for me, you just feel like you're drunk for a split second. It's like, am I imagining things or is the world like you feel like you're like high off of like shrooms or something? Not that I've ever done something like that. I haven't. But like it feels like the whole world is like not like the whole world is shaking, but it feels like you're like lightly rocking back and forth. And it's like, I'm not moving. So that's an earthquake. Oh. But normally they're like so small, you can't even feel them when they happen, or they last for like a half second. And so you don't even have enough time for you to process it in your brain like, that was an earthquake. And when they are really strong, even those ones, they're not scary. It's just kind of like, wow, there's an earthquake going on. But like the scary factor isn't there. And I think a lot of it has to do with one, the fact that you get desensitized because it happens all the time. And two, the fact that most places in Japan are earthquake proof. So for example, like my apartment, there was actually a really big earthquake here recently. A few weeks ago, I think it was like a 6 point something or 5 point something magnitude. And on the Japanese scale. And I felt it. I was playing a video game online. I was like, oh my God, earthquake going on. But like I didn't freak out and start screaming and run and grab my emergency kit and leave out the house. Like I ain't even got an emergency kit, which I should have. But you don't think anything of it and nobody else does. People just go back to normal. You continue working. It's just a normal thing here. It's not scary at all. And this is coming from me, the world's biggest coward. So if I'm telling you it's not scary, it's definitely not scary because I get scared easily. So, oh, what are you talking about? You said, or maybe was it Uber? What was your question? Because you said, was it Grubhub? How fluent in Japanese do you feel you are? I always tell people that I'm not fluent at all. And the reason being is I honestly don't really speak Japanese very often. Like my work is entirely in English. Like even when talking to parents, like everyone that I'm dealing with is in English. Like I'm someone that I have survival Japanese skills and I can understand conversational Japanese. So for example, I can go to immigration and do fine in English. I can set up utilities by myself and do fine, like not in English, you know what I mean, Japanese. So you rarely are in a situation where you need to use Japanese. Like those are examples of it. I can't set up my utilities using English. So of course I can speak Japanese to do that. If you're asking me to speak Japanese, like for a business level job, I can't do that. The highest certification that I've done test wise was I have taken the JLPT in 3, but it was not done like to actually get a certificate. This was done at a college level. So it wasn't a real like official test. I honestly don't know if I would actually pass it exam wise, but speaking level, definitely. I am definitely not at no N1 level. So it's also kind of hard to explain because those tests, while a lot of people use them to judge your level of Japanese, they're pretty useless. It's the equivalent for anyone living here in Japan. It's like the Aiken test. If you ever teach the Aiken test to students here, you'll see that it requires you to have a good understanding of English comprehension in order to describe things and explain what you're doing. But just being able to do that doesn't mean that you're actually fluent in English. So the JLPT is the same way. It really just tests your ability to read Japanese, which if that's all you're asking me to do, then yeah, I can do that. But ask me to say what I just read, that's another story. So I'm good at tricking people. So for example, if I'm in an environment, which I did this with one of the guys that I dated, and that's how I ended up ending the relationship because he thought that I couldn't speak Japanese because I only spoke to him in English. He was talking shit about me on the phone with his friend, and it like freaked him out. He was like, "Wait, you understood what was going on?" It's like, yeah, I've been here for 5 fucking years. You think I can't speak Japanese? So I don't speak it most of the time, but I understand it and I can speak it if I want to. So yeah. I don't have no JLPT N1 type level or master fluency type thing, but I know enough to get by on a conversational level on my own. And that's one of my goals. Like I told myself that I wanted to pass the JLPT N1 before I turned 30. So I want to work on studying Japanese more seriously. But yeah, you spend most of your time here either reading Japanese or when you do speak, it's very simple, basic stuff. So either you're talking to a guy on a date and he's just going to ask you simple stuff. He's going to praise how cute you are, ask you what your job is, ask you where you live, why did you come to Japan? Simple crap like that. You'll never speak beyond that. So when you're really being faced with real questions in Japanese, that's what really tests your Japanese level. So anybody can answer basic questions. Like somebody can ask, where are you from? Or what is your job? We can all do that. People, sugoi, like, oh, your Japanese so good, crap like that. And that's easy to impress people. But like if you're in a real situation, like really needing to speak fluently in Japanese and you're having to explain something to somebody, like for example, immigration, I had a really messy situation. So having to explain like why I decided to cancel my application and why I moved before changing this or why I need to change that, etc. That's when things get complicated because you're not going to learn inside of a book how to answer these questions. You can easily read any Japanese textbook and it'll teach you how to answer what your favorite this is, or why do you like that, or where are you from? We can all do simple stuff like that, or like even daily conversation, like, oh, like how's the weather, or wow, this is so cool, or this is so bad, or go left to get to this place and walk straight there. We can all do that type of stuff. But when you're asked to do like business level stuff where it's detailed, computer related, etc., and you're really having to read real Japanese, like real kanji, not just the name of cities and simple like radical kanji characters, but like really having to know the type of stuff, then no. And that's the other reason why like I tell people not to focus so much on that, because I mean, look at me, I've been here for 5 years and I still have not passed the JLPT even in 2. But then again, I've never attempted it, so maybe I could, I just don't know. But the other problem with it is it just gives you enough to give yourself credentials to apply for certain jobs. It doesn't mean that you actually know enough Japanese at that real level, because those tests, they're not testing how well you speak so much. It's pretty much just them seeing how much kanji can you memorize. That's what those tests are on. It's assuming that you're going to be spending all of your time reading this crap. And most of the stuff in there, Japanese people don't even know, and they can't read themselves. I've literally had my ex like take my like test books that I have and try it himself. And of course he knows the right answer, but he's like, what? Like, this is actually wrong. This should be a different kanji character, or we don't even say this. This is weird. The same thing goes for me. Like if I look at their English books, there's a lot of weird crap they teach them, and TOEIC books and Aiken, etc. So it's a good way to learn Japanese and gauge where you think you are, but it doesn't really show you your real true level. Because to be honest, like even when I was first starting out and I had only like passed the JLPT N5, which isn't even a real test, I would get asked questions that were in the JLPT N5 and my brain would go blank. I would be like, huh? Like, how do I answer that? Oh, you were asking what country am I from? I didn't even know that. So just little things like that. Like you realize there's a lot of stuff that you cram to learn to pass these tests, but your brain isn't even really memorizing it. And I feel like it takes really living in real life situations for you to really learn that stuff. And that's part of my problem right now. Like I spend most of my time speaking in English, talking to people that can speak English. And honestly, I've kind of lost motivation to care to get past N3, that I kind of stopped caring. But if I were to be real with myself, I probably could pass N2 if I really wanted to study for that. But I haven't had any motivation or intention in doing it right now. I'm really busy, but I want to do that eventually because there's definitely a lot of Japanese I can learn. So I am no master at that. But that's my point. I'm speaking from experience. You don't need Japanese fluency to come to Japan, to work in Japan, to make a good salary here. It's good to have, but only for yourself and not for work, because most of these jobs here, they don't even want you to speak. Even if you're working for a Japanese company, they normally want you to just speak English because they want you to either work with their foreign department or with foreign customers that they have or something. So yeah, normally Japanese is just for you in your day-to-day life. And when that's the case, how often do you say anything more than yes, no, thank you, please? I want one of this, two of that, three of this. That's pretty much your conversation. Yes, I have a point card. That's your conversation. Yes, I have a bag. 2 bags, please. Like, just basic stuff. And you keep saying the stuff over and over and over again, and you memorize it. So, yeah. Yeah, you didn't answer my question. You were saying something hidden gem. Was it Grubhub? And then you asked Uber, like, what about it? What are you talking about? I don't know what the question was. Y'all not trying to be nosy anymore? Everybody quiet now? Oh, sorry, I was thinking I was reminding you of something. I missed your question. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, let me try to go up. Jonathan. I don't see your name. I didn't get a question from you. Either that or I'm blind. Am I seeing things? Yeah, it says Jonathan K. You missed my question. Can you ask me it again? Because I don't see it. I don't have one from you. Yeah, YouTube, either you didn't comment and you thought you did, or YouTube deleted your question because I don't see it on my screen. That's the first message that I got from you. Okay, yeah, somebody else said the same thing. Like, there was no question. Okay, what did I miss? We didn't talk about everything. It's too much to explain. Basically, my conversation has been all over the place. So yeah, I pretty much left it open. So for questions, so it could be about anything, about me, Japan. This is your time to ask me anything. So I'm trying to do the right thing. It's so tempting to go on a date with somebody to get a free meal. I could get my lunch paid for, but nah, I'm gonna do things the right way. Do you want children? Yes, of course I want children. I actually talked about this a lot on YouTube. I don't have a set number of kids I want to have. I used to want to have a lot of kids, but I don't honestly know what number of children I want to have, especially like now that I am older. So, because honestly, I wanted to be done having kids at 30. Now that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. I definitely don't want to have 2 kids. I want it to be more than 2, but I don't know how many. So, yeah. You raised them in Japan. That depends. I've honestly kind of felt conflicted towards that because, like, one part of me, I'm sorry, like my eyes are down looking at my phone. I hate this like phone case. Like, oh, it's not pushed in all the way. One part of me feels like it's selfish to have children in Japan, especially like as a foreigner. Well, That's what I mean, as a foreigner, because whether you're black or white, yeah, like your kid is going. Why do people always send me weird messages? I'm sorry, I'm like looking at my DM. This is why I don't go inside there, because there's nothing to see inside of here but nasty messages. Okay, anyway, I forgot what I was saying to you. Oh yeah, like I know that it's going to be hard for them going to school here no matter where you're living, unless you completely shelter them and keep them in an international school. And even then, they're going to have their fair share of problems. So I'm not trying to raise my kids to be like, just keep it real, pussies, and, be bitches or whatever. But I don't want them to have to go through being bullied more than what I can even say that I've experienced. And that's something that I cannot relate to. I've had my fair share of a little bit of light bullying, but I've never felt, to me, I've never had a situation where I was made to feel ashamed for being Black, other than my experience being here as a foreigner in Japan. So, of course, I've heard like little remarks, et cetera. I've had some racist experience with neighbors, dealing with white people, but I've never like dealt with that at school. And no matter how cute my kids may be, or how ugly, which I hope that doesn't happen, but they're going to be seen as monsters because they are not Japanese, and especially being a Black foreigner. So, yeah. And that's the crazy thing too. Like, no matter how Japanese or Asian you might think your kids look, because a lot of people, I'm gonna keep it real with you, just being realistic. As a foreigner, of course, genetics play, a fact role, whatever. All Black ain't the same across the board. There are differences in the way that we look, from our complexions to our hair colors to our features, etc. And of course, looking certain ways can also make you more likely to have kids that look more racially ambiguous. Y'all get where I'm getting at here. However, while you might see a kid and be like, oh, that person clearly looks like they're mixed race, you can see that they have some Asian in them. To a Japanese person, all they see is a straight up Black person. So that's not going to protect them. And I don't want my kid to have to grow up feeling ashamed of being Black. But I also don't want them to be sheltered to the point where they can't face reality. So I'll always feel torn between the two, because I want my kid to grow up like regular people wherever they're from. So I want them to go to a good school, but I don't want it to be where they're spending all of their time at international school because they can't go to public school because of bullying. And it's also more expensive to raise a child here, and it's not worth it, in my opinion. So I don't know, but because I personally plan to live in Japan, I feel like I would want to find a way to make that work. But then I'll always feel guilty and selfish for choosing that and not being able to relate to that. So all I can do is hope for the best that that doesn't happen to my kid. Times are changing. There are more mixed race marriages and couples, but bullying is still a really big thing. And I even see that from the teacher side of it. And as a teacher, it amazes me how many dumb coworkers that I have that either act completely oblivious to the bullying that goes on, or that just simply don't care. So I feel like it's a mixture of both. And while I'm proactive and I try to stop things like that from happening, I fear that my kid won't have teachers that do the same thing. And I know how schools work here in Japan, both public and private. They try to hide situations like that go on. They don't want to get the parents involved, but I want to be involved. If my kid's being bullied, I want you to tell me. So I actually have a video on this topic that I haven't edited yet, talking about choosing school for my kids, if and when I do have them. So yeah, it's complicated. That would be my biggest issue. Even like parks and whatnot. I don't like the parks in Japan. They're not safe. They're really dangerous. I don't like hospitals here. I like that you get seen right away and they honor their appointments, unlike in the US. But we have better quality doctors. I do not like Japanese doctors at all. They suck. They don't know what they're doing. Their equipment is old and outdated. Their thinking is old and dinosaur-like. There's so many things that I worry about with having children here. But I know that more than likely, if I did have kids, it'd probably be in Japan. But whether I would stay here indefinitely, I honestly don't know. Off the top of my head, yes. Long term, I'd probably change my mind for their own safety, but not for myself. Because realistically, for me, I mean, just keeping it real, it's not going to affect me. I'm not the one that has to go to school, but I don't want my kid to have a difficult life because I'm selfish and chose to stay in Japan. but I also want them to be proud of who they are. And I know that when they become an adult in the long run, it pays off. I have people all over me begging to date me, telling me how good, oh, you look around, you should be a model, blah, blah, etc. type thing. So they might have to deal with being bullied when they're young, but when they're older, people are going to wish they were them. People are going to love and admire their culture, want to have Black friends, etc. Crap like that. So it's a bad thing at first because everybody's trying to blend in and be the same as everyone else. But then when you get older, you realize, no, you're blessed with the fact that you do look different from everybody else. And the fact that, my kids probably will have curly hair and they will have Black features and you do look exotic. Those things that they might hate about themselves as a child because they want to look more Asian like everyone else. So, yeah. Is housing cheap there? It totally depends on where you live. In my opinion, I think all housing is cheap, including the place that I have right now. I could never get a place like this where I'm from for this amount of money. So my rent is less than $3,000 and I'm pretty much living like in the downtown area, like a train stop away. So you could not do that where I'm from. And I don't even live in the most expensive city in the US. That would be Chicago. So yeah. In my opinion, it's cheap, especially in comparison to your salary and the fact that your job reimburses you for transportation. What else? Japanese bullying is on a whole different level. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think the saddest part is that even when teachers see it, they have been trained to not say anything. They try to downplay the situation. So even if you suspect bullying, they will lie to your face and be like, oh, no, he's not being bullied. They'll even blame your kid. They'll say, oh, your kid is troublesome and they're always fighting people. But yeah, they really want to be his friend. No, he ain't fighting nobody. He's defending himself. So I've seen it all. And it's really sad because I see so much stuff that teachers can easily nip in the bud, but they don't. And I talked about this on my channel before, on my video about the most important thing called like the most important job, whatever you have as a teacher. But I'll never forget that I had a little Indian boy in my classroom when I was working at abroad. And I couldn't believe that none of the other white staff, of course, they were completely oblivious to what was going on. All of the Japanese kids inside of her class were bullying my kid inside my class. He wanted to play soccer. And one of the boys had finished playing. He took off his jersey and he literally went to every little Japanese kid in my class and begged them, not just asked, he begged them because they said no, to take his jersey so that they could play the game. And I'm gonna say his name. Here this little Indian boy is. He was very dark skinned like a Black kid, because they can get just as dark as we do as Black people. Here he was nicely asking them, I want to play. Can I have it? Whatever type thing. They pretended like they didn't even see him. And then when finally they realized that none of my kids, especially the girls, because they tried, asking the girls desperately, please take this, please take it. Nope, they didn't want it. They just wanted to watch the game. They didn't want to actually play. They threw it to him like he was a dog. They threw it on the floor for him to pick it up. And he went to go grab it. And I just sat back and watched it because I wanted to see if my, co-teacher was going to step in, or if he was going to come and tell me, the little Indian boy, if he was going to come and tell me what happened. He was so conditioned to feel like this is okay. He didn't even tattletale. He was just glad to be able to play the game. He picked up the jersey, got ready to put it on, and I felt bad because I yelled at him. It's like, no, you're not in trouble. I'm trying to help you out. And I told him, look, put that down, put it back down. Call, Tato back over there. Like, boy, you better pick that up and hand it to my student the right way and apologize to him. Lost his mind. Just little crap like that. And see it's small situations like that they let get by and they don't think anything of it. To them, it's like, oh, they're just being kids. That's just not his friend. No. How convenient. The darkest kid inside my classroom, the one foreign boy, conveniently, he's the outcast that nobody wants to be partners with. You can't hold his hand. How are you going to like me as a teacher when I'm Black too? If that little boy is dirty, he's a monkey, he looks like poop, then I do too. You can't have fun and enjoy me, accept my gifts, ask me to pick you up and play tag with you at the park, and you treating my friend like crap that's the same as me. We both Black. So excuse you? And these kids don't even understand that concept because they've already been brainwashed by their parents. They've already been taught these people are dirty. They're lesser than you. I'm the exception though, because I'm the fun teacher, right? But then you deal with another Black person. I know that, he's Indian, but you get what I'm saying. They're kids. Their minds can't comprehend that. To them, dark skin is dark skin. That's all they're getting from this. And mind you, he was significantly, complexion-wise darker than I am. But it's like, y'all, how can y'all not see he's being bullied? All the time. Kids laughing about his lunch, just little things, and teachers just completely ignore it. Nobody hears, nobody sees. How did y'all like get y'all degree? Like, I really wish they spent more time, like, when you do student teaching, explaining to you, like, the signs and things to look out for. Like, there's so much talk about, even, like, with, like, posters and stuff for, like, looking out for signs of kids being abused at home. What about the shit going on in the classroom? Y'all just don't, like, it seems like a kid has to be getting, like, knocked out for a teacher to finally be like, oh, maybe I should step in because I might get in trouble for this. But just regular conversation between students, they don't care if your kid getting bullied. As long as he ain't getting seriously injured, it's fine by them. So, yep. You keep telling me about your question, but you're saying everything but the question. So ask it again. I don't see it. I want to answer it if it's appropriate, but I don't see it. I'm not God, by the way. I mean, I love the job, but I'm not God. I'm just giving y'all my 2 cents on these topics. This is my own observation. So you talk to a different foreigner living here, everyone has their own opinion. I got 10 minutes left, people. No more questions? I should get some water before I die. Actually, I need to go to the bathroom, but y'all don't want to see that. What are the movie theaters? Oh my gosh. Man, I have a story time I need to give about a date that I had at a movie theater. Worst thing I ever did to somebody in Japan. And that was to my ex. He should have broke up with me after that. I got really mad at him over something really stupid, and I made him cry right before his birthday. I was awful. He should have broke up with me back then. Like, I would have broke up with me for that. It was bad. And I never saw him cry before. That was the only time he cried. So yeah, that was bad of me. But anyway, yeah, movie theaters here are okay. They're significantly quieter than they are in the US. And while some places in the US just started this, Japan has pretty much always been this way, where you have to reserve your seat, which makes sense. I think all places are like that now in the US, but it used to be where that wasn't the case, where you just walked in and you found a seat. You didn't know if there were going to be seats or not. So you didn't know if you were going to be sitting in the front row or if you were going to be all the way at the top. And I'm somebody that likes to be like in the top mid section because I don't want to be too close to the screen, but I got to look up, but also don't want to be too far back either. So, but to me, it's better to be back really far than being up really close. So yeah, you choose your seats. They even have couple seats, so where you can sit together in one chair. So yeah. And that was the day that I did that, and I decided not to go after we got there. Like, my boyfriend was, I gotta save that for that story time, but I was a bitch. I can admit that. I was a total bitch. He begged me to go, and I refused, and he was more on the shy side, so I was surprised that he was willing to do that in front of everybody. He made, like, a whole scene and was, like, begging me to, like, go see the movie, and I didn't. We went to go see, what's the Avengers? The third one or something like that? I don't remember what movie. One of those Avengers movies, but yeah. That water looks refreshing. I guess so. People need education on how to handle both. Yes, they most certainly do. So, and then the weirder thing is, some of the teachers that I worked with, for example, that girl whose students were bullying that little Indian boy, she was a victim of bullying. And she used to tell her whole story all the time. And I'm thinking, like, how are you a victim of bullying and you don't know what to look out for? Like, for me, from being the quiet kid in class, I know what to look out for, even from the teacher stance. I don't have to be talking, like, I didn't even really talk to that student like that. He wasn't a teacher's pet kind of kid. He was a goody-goody two-shoe, followed the rules, but he wasn't one of those kids that were, like, up under me and wanted to constantly talk to me all the time and make sure he was in my good graces type thing. He did his own thing, which was unusual for my class because pretty much everybody was like that with the exception of a few students, and he was one of them. But even with him not always talking to me and coming to me, I was observant enough to realize, he's not being treated the same as other students. And because he wasn't a tattletale snitch, nobody cared because from their perspective, well, he's not telling, so he must be okay. Nothing's wrong. They're just playing. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, back on subject. So yeah, movie theaters, they suck. They do not saturate the popcorn with butter. They don't have like the options to get them hot wings and cheese fries and other little fancy stuff. Nope, they got nasty microwaved hot dogs, popcorn that smells good but don't have that super buttery smell, don't have the buttery taste. You can either get basically salt popcorn or caramel, and neither of them are good. But because I'm somebody that can't watch a movie without the food, I get it anyway. But there is nothing like how we have in the US when it comes to theaters here. Absolutely nothing. They suck here. So, and they're overpriced, they're more expensive. So, yeah. The experience itself, I guess, is fine. It's pretty much the same. It's also kind of cool that they have like little souvenir shops at the movie theater. So, for the movie that you're seeing, you can buy like little figurines and crap and memorabilia from like the theater that you actually are going to, which is pretty cool because normally in the US, the most we might have is like, especially if it's a Marvel theme movie, there might be a couple of keychains and some posters that you can buy there. Like I remember when I went to go see Star Wars 3 with my dad, they had like free posters that you can get that said like, who's your daddy? Because it was around Father's Day with Darth Vader. Like they have stuff like that in the US, but they don't have like a whole gift shop. Like that's unheard of. So that was pretty cool. Who's the worst guy you dated in Japan so far? The worst guy. Wow, I've been on way too many dates to answer that question. Absolute worst. I don't know. Like, I've dated so many bad people. I guess like the first thing that comes to mind is I think about that guy that like tried to play me as a sugar mama. But I wouldn't even say that that was the worst though, because I did enjoy being with him, I guess, like during the dates before I was smart enough to realize he was playing me. You have to be more specific. How long would I have to have dated the guy, or just for any duration of time? Like just even one date is fine? Or do you mean like date, like boyfriend, girlfriend, like serious relationship date? It's like they're still scared. They're still scared of what? Oh, these must be coming in late for me. I'm guessing you were talking about my unacceptable behavior towards my date. That's the thing. Like people think I don't take accountability. Like I can admit when I do crappy stuff. I definitely did my ex bogus as far as that goes. So just one date. Okay. When I was new to Japan, oh God, I'm telling myself I shouldn't be sharing this stuff. I kind of shared this in my 1,000 subscriber video because somebody had asked me about did they ask me what was the worst sex that I had? Or they asked something about sex, so I mentioned it. It was that guy. I swear I'm not trying to get on him. I understand it's a sensitive topic for dudes, but I went on a date with this guy and he was cute, but of course, as expected. I hate to feel this way because see, height is not the most important thing for me, but I'm not a really tall girl. Like even in Asia, like I'm on the taller end. I'm almost considered tall for a girl. I'm a couple centimeters off. But even then, the average height for a man here is 5'7". So being borderline 5'4", to just ask you to at least be the same height as me is not asking for much. And mind you, at this point, this past year, my patrons know I have exclusively dated men that were 6 feet tall or taller. And I've gone on tons of dates doing that. And not just 6 feet tall or taller, but 6 feet tall or taller and making at least $100,000 plus per a year. Yeah. So I don't feel like my requirement is really high to ask for you to at least be 5'4". Not even gonna talk about finances here. So back then, I didn't have none of these standards. I didn't know none of the stuff about F boys. I was just happy to be in Japan. I was dumb and 21. I went on a date with this guy, and I met him in Ikebukuro, and I think I met him off of Tinder, I think, at the time. And man, he was cute, but he was short. He was like a good inch shorter than me. And I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't know you were small. And so I never like asking guys about their height because I know it's a sensitive topic. Like I know I don't want to tell a guy my weight. So I normally don't ask, but at the same time, like I feel like if something's of importance, you tell them. Like for myself, I'm not obese or anything, so I don't feel like there's anything to hide about me. You can see pictures of my entire body. I have an Instagram account. You know what I look like. I have pictures of my entire body on Tinder. You are not being surprised. In fact, if anything, you're going to like what you see. So with that said, there's nothing for me to hide from you. So I always feel, okay, if the guy is short, he'll disclose that in his profile, right? Because you do see guys that say, oh, like, I'm sorry for being small type thing. No. You come across those guys where it's like, he seems too good to be true. They're really kind to you. They're really cute. He's not a host. What's the catch? Of course, he's short. So long story short, no pun intended, we walked from Ikebukuro Station. It's raining. And it was my first time getting an umbrella in Japan and first time leaving one behind too. I went to his house and he was living inside of some sort of like dorm-like place or something. I think I wasn't really supposed to be there. I think it was one of those dorms where it's like boys only, like people that work for some company type thing or whatever, like rent out a dorm room there. So long story short, I was stupid. I was experimenting with things and I decided to sleep with this guy. And I literally had just met him. And even though I knew like I didn't like the fact that he was short, he was cute and he seemed like a nice guy. Do you know that it was the absolute worst sex of this day I've ever had? I swear I'm not making a racist joke. I literally felt nothing. There was no dick to be felt. And I know that like people always be like, oh, that just means your hallway is wide. Trust me, they ain't, okay? That's another thing too. Any dude that I've ever like broken up with, they can call me crazy. They can say I ran him dry out of money. But you can't ever say that Fat Mom was dry or that it wasn't tight, okay? It ain't got nothing to do with my skills in bed or how my anatomy, my body is. There was nothing there. If I didn't know any better, I would think that I was having sex with another girl. There was literally nothing to be felt, like nothing. Like have you ever like had sex with somebody where like, this is getting TMI, but we just keep the conversation, where like you were so wet, and see, some of y'all can't relate to this because y'all don't even have guys that care about getting you to that point where you were so wet where you felt like it wasn't even there because of like how long you've been at it. Like your vagina has just lost all feeling at this point. It wasn't that. It was the fact that there was nothing to be felt. I couldn't even fake moan. My brain was like questioning what the hell was going on. He even got the hint. He freaked out, got off of me, and started crying, y'all. And then I can't remember what exactly happened. He started like texting somebody and claiming that he was crying and that because his friend got into a car accident and he's injured and he needed to go suddenly. And so like he just like completely spazzed out and like freaked out. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then he apologized for having sex with me, like just everything. And I'm like, okay, this is getting really weird. I'm going to go too. And you best believe when I got home, that girl from Denmark, man, we shared whole stories like crazy that day. I came back to Soccer House and I was like, y'all not going to believe this. This man fucked me with an invisible dick. Worst sex I've ever had, 0 out of 10. I went in on his ass. And then I felt bad. He was like, damn, I raised my body count for this nigga. Like, he wasn't shit. He was a nice guy, but I can't call that dick. Like, that's not sex. Like, it literally felt like I was with a girl that had a giant clit. That's what that was. It was a clit, a nub. That was not a dick. And I know it's a stereotype, but I ain't here to lie and make people feel good. He did not have a penis in his pants, okay, y'all? He was cute. He was fine. He was so sweet. But this dude was like at the low, like I'm technically 5'3", but I always say 5'4" because I'm literally like a half centimeter away. I'm 162 centimeters, which is basically 5'4". So anyway, this man, he had to have been maybe like 160 or 161. I'm not even wearing heels. And back then, my stage in Japan, I was wearing heels pretty much every day. Now I just say, fuck it. Boy is going to be all over me anyway, no matter what I'm wearing. I cared back then. And so I'm like, thank God I didn't do it then because it would have been even more awkward. That was the biggest waste of body count raising that I've ever done. And I was like, never again. And I still don't do it to this day because I always try to be mindful. Because like I said, I understand men cannot change their height. Women can change their weight. You can do things to make your breasts look bigger. Men cannot do anything. All they can do is put them little stupid heels inside their shoes. You ain't got to be 6 foot tall to date me. I ain't finna lie. It helps. But you don't have to be. I understand that. However, if you are that small as a man, disclose that shit. Like, it's good for you to save yourself the time and stress and embarrassment, because at least I'm nice. I know bitches that will walk away and leave the date and tell you that they mama dying of cancer. Okay? Like, at least I'm going to, not only did I tough it out, I hold it out for you. I fucked you. Even although you're short, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. And you came with no dick in your pants? Like, at least if you're going to be short, you got to be packing. Like, if you got dick game, we can make an exception. We can work something out. Maybe. Because some of them little short niggas, like, they got a big wang up inside there. But then other ones, it's like, nope, the height definitely does affect it. So, but that depends too, because you can date a tall guy that has a little wee-wee. But I will say, being realistic, it's a lot more rare than dating somebody that, normally a guy that's taller, even if his stuff ain't, schlonging, he got a little schlong going on. Like, you know what I mean? He got a little swing to it. If he's short, that's risky business, because there is a 90% chance he got a little soldier in them pants. His dick was smaller than a mini corn dog. And I'm not saying this to be dehumanizing to him. I'm just being honest with you. It was bad. It was bad. So I have fake moaned to make men feel good about themselves. And I'll be totally honest about that. Yep, I sure have. I couldn't find it in me to do it then. I just couldn't. It was so invisible. I didn't know he was inside. I didn't know that it started yet. It's like, oh, you started fucking me? It felt like he was trying to find a hole. So we ain't finna get into that. Long story short, that was the way it stayed. But it's based on the fact that it only lasted for like 2 seconds. Because he literally spent like the whole time, he was just talking to me about anime. But I was new to Japan back then, so I didn't care about that conversation. Now you talk to me about that, I'm like, block. Which my standards have changed. I've become a little bit of a bitch. I hate whenever people like ask me stupid shit, like when we first start talking. Do you like anime? What do you like about Japan? Not you, bitch. Like, I hate being asked crap like that. It's like, what do you like about America? Why you start learning how to speak English? Why are you talking to me? How many Black people have you met? Like, stop asking me dumb crap that you don't want me to ask back to you. So back then I didn't care. So I answered all his little dumb questions. He was a bit of an otaku. So we talked back and forth about that. And somehow clothes got taken off, lights are out, and the lights needed to be turned back on. Because I'm like, I cannot find your schlong. And it's nowhere to be seen. There is no dick print. You have a clit, sir. So, yeah. Yeah, and then like for a man, because like I understand if you're somewhere like in the Philippines or Vietnam where men are like on average 5'4" or whatever, but this is Japan. I really don't want to date a man that's my height, but fine, I can make an exception. If you are a man and you are under 5'4" and you're a straight man, there's gonna be girls that are okay with that. But that's the thing, like even if a girl is short, because there's plenty of women here that are short, and that the average height for a woman is 5'2" here. However, even short girls, they want tall guys. And so again, I'm not asking you to be 6 feet tall. I get it. You can't help your height. I can't change my race. I'm not getting rid of my lips or my nose. You're going to have to deal with it. So if you don't like these features on me, you're going to have to find you another girl. So I totally understand that. But at the same time, it's like, that's kind of a big deal breaker. Like this is how I see it. That'd be like me coming to the table as a girl and being like, well, I'm sorry, but I don't have a pussy. And my boobs are gone. I don't have an ass, but I look a little cute. Like, okay, like maybe you do find that person to be attractive, but you can't really fuck that, basically. Like, where's my dick supposed to go? Like in your nose or something? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? So that's how I felt about that. It's like, okay, you don't have money. You're living in a crappy dormitory that smells like urine in the hallways. You are really short. And you have no penis? I might as well date a Japanese girl, because that's what I'm with at this point. So I wish I could remember if he had titties or not. So, yep. Yeah, I made it over my 3-hour mark. I should be ending this now. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to bully people, but she asked me what was the worst date. So yeah, that was the worst as far as like overall date. because normally, like, if it's gonna be a F boy, because like, of course, he was lying to me. His friend, he was either one of two things happened. Either he was embarrassed because he realized that his dick was not doing the job, or two, he just felt extremely remorseful for the fact that he was playing me and suddenly decided I shouldn't be fucking you. So one or the other, because yeah, like he was trying his hardest, and even he realized, like from his perspective, I don't even know what was going through his mind, because I know I can't be the only girl to have like felt that way, because that man would have to be rich for you to even be able to pretend like you're having an orgasm, because my pinky finger could be felt better than his dick. That's all I have to say to that. So your ears an alternative. I guess so. So I was saying my nose because my nose is big, but my ears are actually pretty small. But yeah, I guess that would have to be the case, because my brain was just thinking like, how does that work? Like, it's one thing. Like, my babysitter when I was a kid, she was really tall. She was a 6 foot tall woman, about 5'11", and her husband was, I think, like 5'4". Huge height difference. But you want to know what? I'm pretty sure that Schlong was schlonging. He was swinging that thing. That's how their relationship worked. They had a big family. I'm sure things could be felt. You cannot have nothing that a man is expected to have. No money, no height, no dick. What do I get out of this? So we can't even, like, and I'm a woman, like we can't even fuck. Like, imagine if I came to you as a woman like that and was just like, I'm sorry, I look a little cute, but yeah, we can't have sex. Oh, you mean after we get married? No. Even after we get married, like my pussy is just an infinite black hole. So yeah. This isn't a conversation to get on Japanese dick sizes. I'm sorry to get into this, and that's a stereotype, but no, I will be honest. The best and the biggest that I've had has actually been from a Japanese man, being completely honest with you. So to balance out the story, everybody is not like that. I will say, being honest, because y'all know I don't do that politically correct crap, keeping it real with you, most men here on average are small. It's facts. It's racist to say it's bad. Oh, I'm a bad person. But it's true. Just like most black men do have a big thing, okay? Their dinglings tend to be big. It's factual. Does every black guy? No, certainly not. And also, don't forget, having a big dick don't mean crap if you don't take a shower. And I can name tons of niggas that don't do that. So, trying to balance out the conversation here. There's pros and cons on both ends. I will say, being honest though, yeah, like the majority of Japanese men, when they think their dick is big, it's just an average sized penis. But I will also play devil's advocate as well. Having a big dick also has limitations too, because unless you're just into some really exotic type of crap, gaping type stuff, your pussy cannot fit no 12-inch dick inside of it anyway. So it doesn't matter if the guy that you're talking to has an 8-inch dick, because your vagina does not have space to accommodate that. So, in fact, in my opinion, like this is TMI. Let's just say I've had some experience having sex with people where their whole thing could not fit there. And while it felt good, it also became painful eventually too, because they don't understand that, sir, it can't go any further than this. So I'm a little bit of a masochist, but we ain't finna get into all that type of crap. Okay, we're gonna wait and save that stuff for later. But basically, it isn't being wasted. That's what it all comes down to. Like, think about it. Like, for example, a lot of guys like girls with big butts. But then it's like, if a girl's booty is like, see all these little girls, these fake asses and whatnot. Not trying to get on girls' side of my comments. Some of y'all probably got a BBL right now, or are you recovering from yours as you watching this video because we on holiday break and you trying to get it done so nobody see it. I see y'all. But what was I gonna say to y'all? Damn, my brain, I lost train of thought. I was talking about BBLs. Damn, I forgot what I was getting at. I was thinking too far ahead. It'll come back to me. Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter if you have this huge, massive, fat ass, because what dude can get his dick past your cheeks when your booty is swollen like that? First of all, it looks disgusting to me, but I guess I'm not a man and I'm not gay, so I can't speak on what other guys find attractive. But if I were a man, I don't want a girl with no nasty microwave looking booty. That's disgusting. It looks gross. Nothing about it is natural. So whatever. Some guys are okay with that. Not gonna judge you. Understand women that feel the pressure to go get that type of stuff done. I totally understand. Not judging you for it. But at the same time, it's useless when you overdo it because now your man needs to have a 3-foot long penis to fit it past your cheeks. I speak from personal experience. I have been with men that are so small here. I don't even have the world's fattest ass where their dick cannot make it past my cheeks. And this is not for that type of sex, but for doggy style. But we ain't finna get into that. Y'all need to be inside my bedroom business. That's for Patreon. We'll talk about that stuff later for patrons if y'all remind me. But yeah, I'm done with this. Why we get into whole stories? Y'all tricked me into this conversation. It's my birthday. We're having serious conversation about being old, and y'all asking me about about small dicks and bad dates. I needed this laugh though, so thank you. Why y'all still here? I expected people to start getting off. I've been here for 3 hours now. Any more questions? Yes, thank you. I talked about that too, but I like width. Yes, width, girth is the most important thing. Length is next important, but girth. For some reason, the feeling of being stretched, we ain't finna get into that. Long story short, it feels so much better than anything you can ever imagine. It doesn't matter if you have a long pencil penis. It doesn't feel the same as a guy that has a fat dick. Fat dicks over long dicks any day. There, I said it. So, yep. So, yeah, there's a lot of people here that do have like legitimately big dicks, but the majority of people don't. Theirs are either average or they are very small. And I will say there are a lot more people here with small dicks than there are big ones. That's true. Not saying it to be racist or a hater. I'm just being honest. People want to lie, make up excuses. I've heard everything under the sun from, oh, they just do that in porn, to make guys feel good about themselves. Y'all make up anything y'all could think of, any excuse under the sun. Same thing goes for Sachiko. Most of these girls that you see running around that are busty, they done had plastic surgery done. You see plastic surgery shops all over Japan. There's a lot of girls with fake tits that just look natural, but they're fake. And butts aren't really a thing here. So a lot of girls have disproportionate bodies. They'll have these super huge breasts, but then their butt is like pancake style. So not trying to body shame people. People like what they want, don't like what they don't like. That's on them. But yeah, plastic surgery is a thing here, people. Just like how it is in the US. They just like breasts over butts. Whereas in America, most of us are focusing more on booties over boobs. So times are just changing. But all right, if y'all don't have any more questions, I'm gonna get off of here in a couple minutes. So I'll wait a little bit and then I guess we will end it here and I'll try to figure out what I'm gonna do for today because I still have some time before. Oh, it's only lunchtime. I thought it was a lot later than that. So yeah. I have so many messages. Oh my God. Okay. I will. I'm just not like seeing like some of these old comments. Yeah, my thing is like loading weird. I'm getting comments that were posted a long time ago. But yeah, all right. Well, if there's no more questions, no more topics, I guess I'll leave it here. But don't ever say that I ignored you. I gave everybody a chance to ask anything they wanted to. I stayed around for 3 hours. So that was plenty of time. So yeah, I guess I will end things here. Bye, Terrell. Yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about. Gonna try to find something to do for my birthday, and if things go well or bad, I'll let you guys know on Patreon. But to be honest, I will keep it real with you. I don't know if I'm actually gonna go on that date or not, because I didn't talk to that guy a lot. I literally just started talking to him yesterday. I only know that he's an engineer. So I don't know anything about, I don't even know that man's favorite food. He just immediately was like, oh, you want to go on a date tomorrow? What's your favorite food? So I have my ALT interview coming up in a week. Any advice or tips? I will be honest, I do normally charge for things like that. But we are going to make a special exception for today. I'll answer your question and then I'm going to end this. It really depends on the job that you're applying for. Like, there's no one size fits all advice for interviews here because it totally depends on the company. I guess my blanketed piece of advice for you is, depending on the age, that's what you want your goal to be focused around. So, in my experience, normally when you're interviewing for a job, they want to see a couple of things from you. One, they want to see that you're good at lesson planning and that you're able to predict anything that might happen. So, for example, time management is normally really big for like schools and things like that here. So, they don't want a teacher that goes way over time or someone that their lesson wraps up too early type thing. Another thing is that they want the lesson to be engaging and fun for the student because, mind you, their goal is to make money. They want to stay in business. If your lesson seems too complicated, they can't follow it, it seems like it's too difficult for the kids or too boring, those can be things that can mark you down and make them choose another applicant over you. So really just follow whatever the instructions are that they have for the demo lesson. So you can ask them, what exactly do they want you to do? And that'll give you an idea. So for example, you said border link. Yeah, so like I can't really properly answer that because I don't know what age group you're working with, but assuming since ALT is going to be high school or junior high level, I have never been an ALT before, but I have applied for ALT positions and I have received job offers for them. But even with that, like that totally varies from company to company. Some of them just want you to write a lesson plan. Other ones want you to do an actual demo lesson. And again, it totally depends on the school. So for one ALT position for high school, they might want you to show that you're good with, lesson planning and that you're very structured and there's a lot of writing involved and everything's lining up and matching each other type things. So for example, like you learn vocabulary and that vocabulary is going to be used for the students to write about this. And then there's going to be a game using that vocabulary type thing. Then you have other schools where it's like they want you to make a lesson plan where it's more interactive, where the students aren't doing so much writing, but they're speaking more. So totally depends on the company and what they're asking for. But I hate to sound like I'm not really answering your question, but basically I would ask them what they're looking for because I can't really answer that question for you on the spot like that. Because even for myself, every time I've applied for a job, I have to look at what the school is looking for. And you can normally figure this out by going to their website. I don't know if you can do that with BorderLink, but you can normally figure this out by going to the school's website and seeing what type of environment they have. So like for myself, I work at an international school. I know that international schools' goals are normally to stay away from paper-based work and to make the environment fun. So what does that mean? I'm not going to make my demo lesson based around doing written work, and I'm not going to make it boring where I just have a flashcard and be like, repeat after me, kids, cat. That's boring as hell. Instead, okay, let's make a game out of this. Let's learn some phonics. I will teach it, they repeat it back. Now let's play a game with it. We're no longer going to be doing any writing, no more flashcards. We're going to be running across the room. I say a word, you tell me, is that the S sound? Go to the A card. Is that the bus sound? Go to the B card. Things like that. They like that. It's creative. It holds the kids' attention because everybody gets to run around and move, but they're also learning something at the same time. So I feel like there's a lot more flexibility with ALT type work with that because even for myself, depending on where I've applied, because I've applied several times thinking I was going to do that type of job, they sometimes want you to just do like normal lesson plans where you are literally writing out everything, like what's your goal, what their target vocabulary will be, what worksheet you're going to use, see how well you give instructions, see how well you close the lesson type thing. And it also depends on how long your lesson is going to be. If you're only doing a demo lesson for like 5 minutes, you don't have to think this far. If they're asking you to do a demo lesson for 30 minutes, 1 hour, more thinking is involved. And it also depends, are you doing this lesson in front of the students or in front of the staff? So to be honest, I feel like it's better to do lessons if you ever have the option. I don't know if they give you the choice. Some schools do. If you ever have the option to do your demo lesson in front of a live class or in front of staff members, always, and I mean always, choose students live in person. And the reason being is they will respond and understand what you intended for things to how you intended things to be better than the actual staff will. Because for example, if I were to explain, because that game that I played with my kids, it got me my job. In fact, they liked it so much, they actually had told The actual principal and manager of the school about my demo lesson, asked me to redo it again for them to see it. They loved it that much. And I actually had instantly thought of that idea off the top of my head because they didn't even give me time to plan for the demo lesson. They had me come in for the interview and they told me I'd be doing a demo lesson, but they said that they would tell me what it would be on. So they literally just gave me some random class materials and I had to decide, what am I going to do with this stuff? They didn't even give me like the flashcards to use. I had to decide what cards I'm going to use. So in that situation, I was like, okay, I have no time to plan for this. I have like 15 minutes to prepare, get in there, figure something out to make this entertaining for the kids. So by researching the school, you know what type of teacher that they want. So base your demo lesson around their teaching style. If the environment is serious, paper-based, you probably want to show that you're punctual, you're good at explaining the lesson, you can talk slowly and clearly, you have good voice projection, you seem like you're friendly, and again, like you can hold the students' attention, keep them interested type thing. So I've never worked for them before, so I can't speak for their company in particular. I'm just giving you general advice as to how I would go about that. But being honest, like with a company like Borderlink, they're a huge company here. Don't overthink these interviews because I'm just going to be honest with you. They hire everybody. They're desperate. It is very, very hard for you to fail an interview. And if you do fail an interview at one of these places, you can just apply to the next one and they'll hire you. So it's something that it takes experience doing demo lessons. And after you do it and like get your feet wet, you get a better feel of it and you know how to go about things. You know what they're looking for. You understand it and it becomes easy from there. So don't stress out over it. I promise that a lot of the things that you're probably judging and critiquing yourself on, they're not looking at, they don't care about. But in my opinion, I find it harder to do demo lessons in front of staff because they might not fully understand how a lesson was supposed to go. And they might over critique the lesson when they're the ones watching it and not the students. When it's the students participating in it, they're going to be too focused on how much fun the students had or how well they seem to have understood it. So for example, with that phonics game that I did with the kids, it probably would have sounded like a really stupid generic demo lesson if I were to just tell the staff, this is what I'm doing for the lesson. But by them seeing, wow, the kids are laughing, they're having fun, and they asked me to do the game again before I left. I was like, wow, you'd think I was paying these kids, but it was perfect. They enjoyed it. And for me, I was freaking out. And they even asked me a trick question when I was done. They asked me what would I have done differently? And were there any things that I can change? If you're ever asked that, always critique yourself because nobody likes a smart ass teacher that's like, well, there's nothing I would change. I'm perfect. So I told them maybe I could have pushed the tables aside more and, maybe had them, I don't know, in a safer area. So like they're running back and forth. Somebody can bump heads and that would cause us to have to end the game. Somebody can get injured. So just being honest and showing that you're thinking and not just trying to give yourself a perfect score. They like things like that. So yeah. That's it. Thanks for the info. I feel slightly better. Haha. Yeah, it's not hard, I promise you. So what they really care more about is your presence, your ability to speak clearly, and again, your time management. So don't go too far over, too under, whatever. It depends on the school, though. Everyone has different requirements. There's no one size fits all. So yeah, all right. Well, then I guess that is it. We are approaching 3 hours and 30 minutes. Wow. This will be, I think, the longest video I will have on my channel if I do post this. I don't think I'm ever going to do that because I am too lazy to listen to all of this all over again. So yeah, I guess that is it. So thank you all of you for joining and for watching. It was fun talking to you guys and answering your questions. I got a good laugh and I hope you did too. Thank you for joining me on my birthday. This is my very first time doing a live stream and especially publicly on YouTube. It's not as scary as I thought it was going to be. I honestly was like freaking out when I was planning for this. I literally like spazzed out and I turned off my computer because I thought that my camera was streaming because like right now the white light is on my computer, like showing me that you can see me. And when I was setting up this live stream, the white light had turned on, it was showing me, but it was claiming that it was still in edit mode. So I'm like, can they see me? Like, oh my God, I'm not dressed right now. I'm naked. So yeah. And then like, even when I was getting ready this morning, I got paranoid, even though my computer was like watching a Kevin Samuels video. I was like, what if my computer is like turned on? Sorry, my little sticker for my chocolate. What if my computer is turned on and you guys can see me like doing my hair and I'm not wearing a bra, like just everything. So yeah, now I tell y'all all my secrets. So anyway, I'm done with this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me on my birthday. And yeah, I don't know when I will be posting another video. I do have one scheduled for the 30th, but I don't know, or was it 31st? Talking about why I fell out with those girls I used to be friends with, the black girls at my job. It's going to be controversial because it's long. It's like a 2-hour video, but I had to get that crap out. Yeah. I'll think about it. I might wait till next year. So I might go on a little hiatus. But thank you, everyone. And thank you a lot, Chris, for your birthday gift. Thank you for my first super chat, a very big one, too. So $50. Oh, my God. Uber Eats money. But yeah. So thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. I'm really happy to have you guys here. My birthdays have normally been like super depressing and sad. So it was nice being able to talk to people and hang out with you guys and get all the birthday wishes and money and cash app gifts. Just keeping it real. So yeah, I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to making more videos and answering your questions in the future too. If you didn't have time to ask me a question, especially if you're watching this live stream in the future, you can always send me an email. And if your question is general enough, video worthy, I will try my best to answer your question in a future video. Or if you leave a comment below, I might answer it there too. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you to my patrons that are here. And yeah, happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Stay safe. And I hope all of you have a good day. Thank you for the birthday wishes and for showing me love. Thank you for your time. Bye.